So hi all of you. Let us see the solution of this paper. So in the first question, there is an LC oscillator where we are like if the values of inductance and the capacitance are becoming double and 8 times respectively, then we have to comment upon that how much the resonant frequency will become of the initial value. So it's a very easy question. We know that resonant frequency is given by 1 by under root of LC. So if you say that initial resonant frequency was 1 by under root of LC, so what will be the final resonant frequency? It will be 1 by under root of new inductance, which has become 2L, into new capacitance, which has become 8 times C. So if you see that 8 to the 16 and under root of 16 is 4, which will come out, and you will get LC, which becomes omega naught by 4. So you can see that the answer will be 1 by 4. Here what is happening is a particle which is moving in a clockwise direction in a circle of radius 1 meter. So if you see, this is a particle moving in a clockwise direction. The radius of the circle is 1 meter, and the center of the circle is at the location 1, 0. So this center you can say is at the location 1, 0. If you consider to be the x-axis, so this will be the x-axis and this will be the y-axis. Okay, and this point will be the origin. The speed increases at a constant rate of pi by 2 meter per second square. So basically the question is saying that the speed is increasing at this pi by 2. So you know that the tangential acceleration is also defined as rate of change of speed, which means that pi by 2 will be the tangential acceleration. Okay, pi by 2 will be the tangential acceleration, which is rate of change of speed. Now we have to find the net acceleration at the time t by 2. So for finding the speed at t by 2, for finding the speed at 2 seconds, I can use v is equals to u plus at. Initial speed was 0, tangential acceleration is pi by 2, and the time is 2 seconds. That means the speed at t is equals to 2 seconds becomes pi meter per second. This is the speed at 2 seconds. Now the total acceleration you know is the under root of tangential acceleration plus centripetal acceleration. Now what is the tangential acceleration? It is pi by 2, so that means this will become pi square by 4, plus centripetal acceleration is v square by r. So basically, let's see what is the centripetal acceleration. If you try to calculate, that is v square by r, that means pi square by 1. This is the centripetal acceleration, and you have to square the centripetal acceleration, so that will become pi to the power 4. Now from here, if you take out pi square by 4 outside, so outside if it will go, it will become pi by 2. This thing will become 1, and 1 pi square will be left here, and you can say 4 will also be left here. So if you compare this value with the given result, then you can say that n becomes 4, which is option B. I'm so sorry, I think here the question slide is missing, but just let's see the question. I mean, let's see how we will get this. I think the question slide is missing here. So the ratio of the kinetic energy and the potential energy possessed by the body executing SHM when it is at a distance of 1 by n of its amplitude from the mean position. So imagine that there is a particle which is executing simple harmonic motion about x equals to 0. Let us say the amplitude is a. Okay, now when the particle is at a distance of a by n, that means when the value of x is a by n, then we have to find the ratio of kinetic energy to potential energy. Now very easy question. See, try to recall that potential energy is half kx square, right? That means if you just put the value of x as a by n, so that will become a square by n square. Whereas kinetic energy you can find simply by doing total energy minus potential energy. Now total energy, you should know in an SHM is half ka square. This is the total energy in the SHM. Minus potential energy at the given instance is half k into a square by n square. Now we just have to take the ratio of k by u. So when you take the ratio of k by u, you can see that you will get half ka square minus half k a square by n square divided by half k a square by n square. Now from here, half will be cancelled. Ka square will also be cancelled. So effectively in the numerator we get 1 minus 1 by n square upon 1 by n square. If you multiply whole thing by n square, then this will become n square minus 1 upon 1. So that means your option D will be the correct answer for this question. Okay. Now let's see the next question. So in this question, for the RMS speed of the hydrogen molecule at a certain temperature is 300. If the temperature is doubled and the hydrogen gas dissociate into hydrogen atom, then what will be the RMS speed? Very easy question. We know that Vrms is given by under root of 3 RT by m0. So its initial value was given as 300 meter per second. right? Now let's say the final RMS speed becomes, let's say, V dash. So see what we have done. We have doubled the temperature. That means instead of T, you will write 2T. Now since the hydrogen has dissociated into the atom, so effectively what will happen, its molar weight will become 1, because see, basically we can say that the molecular hydrogen, that means H2, has a molar weight of m naught. So we can say that, which is 2 grams basically. So the atomic hydrogen will have a molar weight of 1 gram, which is basically m naught by 2. So we are saying that its molar weight is becoming half of the initial value. So molar weight will become m naught by 2, where m naught was the original molar weight, which is actually 2 grams for hydrogen. So basically, if you notice here, this 2 will also go in the numerator, and this 2 and this 2, if you see, so one of the, like, because of the root, this 2 will come out, and the whole thing will become under root 3 RT by m naught, which you can say is 2 into 300 meter per second. Hence, we get the answer as 600 meter per second, which is the option C for this question. Okay, let's move to the next question. The power of a lens is 1.25 in a particular medium. The refractive index of the lens is 1.5, and the radii of curvature of the two surfaces are 20 and 40. We have to find the refractive index of a medium. So basically, imagine that this lens is kept in some medium of refractive index mu medium, and the refractive index of the lens is mu l is equals to 1.5. Now the focal length is given as so power is given as 1.25 in meters note per meter basically. So that will be is equals to 1 upon focal length. So that means 1 upon focal length is 1.25, right? Now we have to understand one thing, that this is in meters. So if you find the focal length, that means this will be what, 1 upon 1.25 meter. So if you have to convert this into centimeter, so what will be the value in centimeter? So now this becomes in centimeter. So this is the focal length in centimeter. Yes or no? So now we get the focal length in centimeter. So in the formula of in the lens maker formula, 1 upon f will be is equals to mu of lens upon mu of medium minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Let's say that this r1 is 20 centimeter and this r2 is 40. So now 1 by f is how much? If you do 1 by f, you will get 1.25 upon 100. That will be equals to mu l is how much? 1.5 upon mu medium we have to calculate minus 1 into 1 by r1. R1 is how much? R1 is 20 and R2 is minus 40, because the center of curvature of R2 is on the left side and the ray was going towards the right side. So that means how much we will get? 1.5 by mu medium minus 1. This will be 1 by 20 plus 1 by 40. That means 2 by 40 plus 1 by 40, which means 3 by 40 into 1.25 divided by 100. Okay. So you can say that you can bring 40 by 3 on the LHS. So 1.5 by mu medium minus 1. That will be is equals to 40 into 1.25. So that means 12.5 into 4, which will be 25 into 2. That means 50. So 1.25 into 40 will become 50 upon 300, which becomes 1 by 6. So which means that 1.5 by mu medium becomes 1 plus 1 by 6, which is 7 by 6. So that means mu medium becomes 9 by 7. So 9 by 7 will be the value of mu medium. So I hope you got this. It's just a calculative question and you have to be very careful with the units here. Let us see the next question. Here what is happening, there is a fish which is rising vertically up in the water surface. So let's imagine that this is the surface of the water and this is the fish. It is rising up towards the surface of the water with the speed of 3 meter per second. That means velocity of the fish is 3 meter per second. Now there's a bird here which is diving below with certain velocity, let's say, which is the velocity of the bird. But fish observes that, so for the fish, it feels that the bird is coming at 9 meter per second. So this is the velocity which is observed by the fish. Now here, of course, it is air. That means we can say that mu1 is 1. And here it is water, which is 4 by 3, which is, you can say, mu2. Now that means light ray is coming from bird to fish, because then only fish will be able to observe the bird, because light ray must start from bird and it must enter the eyes of the fish. So light ray is going from air to water. Now notice one thing, that the fish is not actually observing the bird, but the image of the bird, because when the light ray will cross this interface, so the image of the bird will be formed, which actually is observed by the fish. So let us say the image is coming down with certain velocity. So I will say that velocity of the image with respect to fish, this is what actually is 9. in the downward direction. And here I'm assuming downward as positive because the ray was also coming in the downward direction. So I am assuming the direction of the ray as the positive direction. So again, I will say the fish was actually observing the image of the bird, which it thought to be the bird. So the fish feels that the bird is coming down at 9. That means velocity of the image with respect to fish is 9. This will be velocity of image minus velocity of fish, which is 9, which means that velocity of image is velocity of fish plus 9. Now notice that velocity of fish is -3 because we have chosen downward as positive. So here you will put -3. So that means this becomes 6. What does this mean? That velocity of the image of the bird is actually 6 in the downward direction. Now, you know that when light will cross the this surface, plane surface, then we can use the formula mu2 by v is equals to mu1 by u. So basically, you might have remembered this formula as mu2 by mu1 is equals to apparent depth by real depth. So this is the same formula I'm talking about. Now, you can take on the LHS. U into mu2 is equals to v into mu1. So now if you differentiate this, mu2 into du by dt, that will be is equals to mu1 into dv by dt. Mu2 is the 4/3 value. Du by dt is basically the velocity of the bird, which we intend to find. And mu1 is 1. And dv by dt was actually the velocity of the image of the bird, which we have already found to be 6. So from here, you can see that velocity of the bird comes out to be 6 3 18 by 4, which becomes how much? 4.5 meter per second. So option, I think this should be S per second. Okay. So that will be the correct answer for this question. Here what is happening, there's a closed organ pipe and the open organ pipe of same length. They produce 6 beats per second when they are in the fundamental frequency. So let's say this is the open organ pipe, which is of the length L, and let's say this is the closed organ pipe, which is also of the length L. Okay. So what is the fundamental frequency of the closed of the open organ pipe? We know that that is the speed of the sound divided by twice the length. This is the standard formula of fundamental frequency of an open organ pipe. And what is the fundamental frequency of an closed organ pipe? That is C by 4L. Now the difference of these two values will be the beats, which is 6 here. That means we are getting the value of 6. So if you take the difference here, C by 12 minus 6, C by 12 minus C by 4L, so that will become C by 4L, which is 6. That means the beat frequency comes out to be C by 4L, where L is the length of the pipe, and its value was 6. Now what you are doing, you are basically doubling the length of both the pipes. That means this L will also become 2L, and this L will also become 2L. So now see, what is the formula for the beat frequency that we have found out here? C by 4L. So if the length have been doubled, so formula for in this result itself, I will replace L by 2L. So the new beat frequency will become C by 4 times new length. Yes or no? So this should be our new beat frequency. That means this becomes half of C by 4L, which is half of 6. That means 3 beats. So basically we can say that in the new situation, when the length has been doubled, you are going to hear 3 beats. Here basically there we have got the AN be the area of the nth orbit of the hydrogen atom. So we have to plot the graph of ln of AN with A1 against ln n. So try to recall that radius of the nth orbit is equals to n square by z into radius of the first orbit. Yes or no? Now for the hydrogen atom, z of course is 1. So you can put the value of z as 1 here. That means this will be the result for the hydrogen atom. Now what is the area? So area is pi r square. So if you find the area of nth orbit, so that will be pi into rn square. Correct? So if you do here pi into rn square, so what is the value of rn square? So that means if you square it, you will get n to the power 4 r1 square. This is the nth area. Yes or no? You can very well see that pi r1 square will be the area of the first orbit. Okay. So for example, if the electron is moving in this kind of circular orbit, so this area they are talking about. So basically pi r1 square will be the a1, and this is an. Okay. Now what is the value an by a1? So an by a1 is basically n to the power 4, and if you take the ln of it, so ln of an by a1 will be 4 times ln of n. Okay, using the property of log, 4 will come down. Now we have to plot the graph where y on the y-axis this is present, so this becomes your y, and on the x-axis this is present, so this becomes your x. So naturally, what type of graph you're getting? Y is equals to 4x. Yes or no? Hence, basically, you're going to get a straight line graph, okay, which is going to pass through the origin. This type of graph you're going to get. So that means option A becomes wrong because it is saying it will not pass through origin. Will have the certain points lying on a straight line with slope 4. Yes, this is correct. Will be monotonically increasing, non-linear. So because, yes, it is increasing, but it is saying non-linear, so that's wrong. Will be a circle is also wrong. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Let's see the next question. In a photoelectric experiment with light of wavelength lambda, the fastest electron had a speed v. When the wavelength is changed to 3 lambda by 4, the speed of the fast electron will become. So basically, in the first case, when the wavelength of the photon is lambda, then using the Einstein's equation, I can write hc by lambda, which is the energy of the photon, is equals to 5 plus k max. And k max ko we can write half into mv square, where v is the speed of the fastest electron. So this is the equation that we get for the first situation. Okay. Now in the second situation, let us say when the wavelength has become 3 lambda by 4, then let us say the fastest electron speed becomes v1. So you will write energy of the photon as hc by new wavelength, which is 3 lambda by 4. So I'm writing 4 in the numerator, 3 lambda by 4 as 5 plus k max. What is k max? Half into m into v1 square, where v1 is the new speed of the fastest electron. Okay, so we have to find the value of v1 itself. Now, see, if you look at the red equation, first equation, so basically what is the value of v square? So hc by lambda minus 5 into 2 by m into 2 by m. Yes or no? This is the value of v square. And similarly, in the second equation, if you see 4 hc by 3 lambda minus 5 into 2 by m, this will be the value of the v1 square, right? Now, if you do v1 square by v square, if you do v1 square by v square, so this 2 by m will get cancelled out, and we will get 4 hc by 3 lambda minus 5 divided by hc by lambda minus 5. Okay, and if I take 4 by 3 common, 4 by 3, outside here, so if I take 4 by 3 from here, so we will be left with hc by lambda minus 4 by minus 3 by 4 5 minus 3 by 4 5. Yes or no? Divided by hc by lambda minus 5, correct? And this is the value of v1 and v square, right? So now if you see, this value clearly is less than this. Okay, this value is clearly less than this. So what are we getting? So v1 becomes how much? Root of 4 by 3 into v, root of 4 by 3 into v into root of this expression, this whole expression which you see, hc by lambda minus 3 5 by 4 upon hc by lambda minus 5. Now here numerator is less than denominator. I'm so sorry, here numerator is greater than denominator, my bad. Numerator is greater than denominator because this is a lesser quantity. 3 5 by 4 is less than 5. Yes or no? 3 5 by 4 is less than 5. So you are deducting a smaller quantity from hc by lambda. 3 5 by 4 is less than 5. So you are deducting a smaller quantity from hc by lambda in the numerator. So clearly this value numerator will be more than denominator. Hence we can understand that this whole red box will be more than 1. Yes or no? Because numerator is greater than denominator, which says that now since this is more than 1, so which definitely means that v1 will be more than under root of 4 by 3v, because you are like this factor is more than 1. So assume that this factor is 1.2. That means v1 will be more than v1 will be 1.2 times root of 4 by 3v. So that means option D will be the correct. I hope you got this. Okay, let's see the next question. So here what is happening? The potential difference between A and B. So that means you have to find the potential difference between A and B. Diode is ideal. So if the diode is ideal, that means this is in the forward bias. So you can simply replace this by a wire. Okay, so I'll just replace this by a wire because it's in the forward bias mode. Okay, now if here the potential is 0 volts and here the potential is 30 volts. So this 10 and 10, what is the these can be considered in parallel. So 10 and 10 will become 5. Okay, and that, so this equivalent of these two will become 5, and 5 and 10 will become 15. So basically we can say that the overall resistance of this circuit comes out to be 15 kilo ohms, and this is the 30 volts. So how much is the current that is moving here? So I will be is equals to voltage upon, which is 30 upon 15 kilo ohms. 15 kilo ohms, this is the value of the current. Now this current will, so if you look at the original circuit, this current will start from the battery and it will cross here. Okay, so and then it will split in, since both of these are barabar equal, so both of these are equal, so that means here also I by 2 current will go and here also I by 2 current will go. Now simply we have to write the potential difference AB. So we can write VAB as, using Ohm's law, as I by 2 into 10 kilo ohms. Okay, so I by 2 means, what is I is 30 upon 15 in kilo ohms. This is the value of I. Okay, and we have to do half of it into 10 kilo ohms. So from here you can see that 15 to the 30 will cancel out and this will become 10 volts. Okay, so option B will be the correct answer for this question. Let us see the next one. Here we have got three elephants. So here the speed of the A is 5 meter per second and speed of C is 10 meter per second. And what is happening, that separation between A and B is D and B and C is also D. When B catches C, then the separation between A and C becomes 3D. So see, we have to find the speed of B. Okay, so speed of B is U here. Now first you understand that when will the separation between A and C become 3D. So right now the separation between A and C is D, sorry 2D. Separation between A and C is 2D, yes or no? So that means when will it become 3D? So it will become 3D when separation increases by D. Okay, separation should increase by D. Okay, and what is the rate at which separation is increasing? So with respect to A, C is moving faster at 5 meter per second. Basically, velocity of C with respect to A is how much? 5 meter per second, basically 10 minus 5. That means the separation is increasing at a rate of 5 meter per second. And to increase this, so we have to increase the separation by how much amount? We have to increase this separation by D. So time in which separation will increase by D will be separation increased upon rate of separation. So this is the time in which separation will increase by D. And in the same time, what happens? B catches C. That means B must be moving faster than C. That is why B was able to catch C. Now, so at what rate B is moving with respect to C? If you stand on C, then B is moving, velocity of B with respect to C is basically dB minus bc, which is u minus 10. And if B was able to catch C, that means with respect to C, B would have moved D. B would have moved D with respect to C. That means the time in which B will catch C will be separation, which is D, upon rate of approach, which is u minus 10. So basically what I'm doing is that if you sit on C, then B moves how much? B moves D. If you sit on C, then B moves D, and at the rate of u minus 10. So with respect to C, B moves D at a rate of u minus 10. So this is the equation that we can write. So time in which B will catch C will be D upon u minus 10. So from here D and D will get cancelled and u minus 10 will be equals to 5, which means that you will become 15 meter per second, which is what we will get here. So I hope you got this. Sorry, my bad. So this is basically 15 meter per second. I think option A will be the correct answer for this question. Let's see the next question here. So here what is happening is a galvanometer of resistance 100 ohms and contains 100 divisions. That means on the the total number of divisions on the galvanometer is 100. It gives a deflection of one division on when a current of 10 to the power minus 4 ampere is passed. So basically, what will be the full scale deflection current? Full scale deflection current means that what can be the maximum current that can pass through the galvanometer. So if you see here, when 10 to the power minus 4 ampere is passed, then we get one division. So number of divisions are 100. So that means for 100 division, the total current that can pass is number of division multiplied by current for one division, which is 10 to the power minus 4. That means this is 0.01 ampere. So this is the full scale deflection current. That means this is the maximum current that can pass. Okay. Now this is the maximum current that can pass through the galvanometer, and we have to convert this into a voltmeter, which can measure up till 10 volts. So assume this to be the galvanometer, and let's say the resistance of the galvanometer is 100, which is given in the question. Suppose we attach a very high resistor R high here. Okay, so we have to find the value of this R high. Okay, now this becomes a voltmeter. This thing becomes a voltmeter, and this should be able to measure the 10 volts. That means the potential difference across this should become 10 volts when the maximum current of 0.01 ampere is passing. So very easy question. You can say that 0.01 into the resistance of the total resistance of the voltmeter, which is 100 plus R high. So this is the total resistance of the voltmeter that should be able to reach the 10 volts. So from here you can say that 100 plus R high will be equals to 1000, which means R high becomes 900 ohms. So option D will be the correct answer for this question. Okay. So option in the question number 13, what is happening? A satellite is moved from one circular orbit around the Earth to the lesser radius. So we have to comment upon whether the kinetic energy will increase or decrease, whether the potential energy will decrease or increase. Now, very easy question. If you try to understand, the kinetic energy is given by GMM by 2R. This is the formula of the kinetic energy of a satellite. Okay. And potential energy, you should try to understand, is negative first of all, and it's double of the kinetic energy. That means minus of GMM by R. This is the value of the potential energy. Now notice that as R will increase, so sorry, here the radius is decreasing. So basically as R will decrease, so kinetic energy will increase. Very obvious, because kinetic energy is inversely related to R. That means kinetic energy will increase. So if you see option C and D become wrong because they are saying that kinetic energy will decrease. But we know that kinetic energy will increase. Okay. So as R decreases, R goes down, implies that kinetic energy will go up. Okay. What happens to the potential energy? Now see, if you ignore the minus sign for the time being, so again it is inversely related to R. So that means potential energy is also increasing. That means this value is increasing as R decreases. But because of the negative sign, we can say that value is actually decreasing. Why? Because if a negative value increases in magnitude, then actually the value is decreasing. For example, if you're going from -4 to -5, so if you look at 4 and 5, then from 4 to 5 you have increased, but because of this minus sign, we can say that overall value has decreased. So we can say that kinetic energy has decreased, but potential, sorry, my bad, kinetic energy has increased, but potential energy has decreased. So option B will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, let us see the next one. So now basically the point charge q is placed at a distance r from the center of a thin metallic neutral spherical shell of radius r as shown, and we have to find the potential at the point A. So basically this is a neutral shell and this is a charge q kept here. Now because of this charge q we will get some induction like this. Induction phenomena will happen like this. Okay, but since the shell was neutral, so we can say that still the total charge on the surface will be zero. Total charge, because of the charge conservation. So total value of the induced charges will still be zero. Okay. Now also remember that if O is the center of the shell, so we can say that total potential at O will be equal to total potential at A. Why? Because the electric field is zero inside the shell. Okay, there are three lines here, so we can say that potential cannot change. So the total potential at O is equal to total potential at A. Hence, if we have to find the potential at A, then we can also find the potential at O. And what is the potential at O? So potential at O due to induced charges will be zero, because the induced charges, total sum of induced charges is zero. So if the distance of the point O from the induced charges is also zero. So basically, if you write the potential due to induced charges at the point O, because the distance of the induced charge is same, like every charge, every dq charge is at the same distance from the point O. So if you write the potential due to each dq charge, k dq by r, k dq by r, k dq by r, and if you integrate it over the whole shell, then since the total charge on the induced charge is zero, total induced charge is zero, so we can say that potential due to induced charges will become zero. Hence, at point O, there will be the total potential due to this q only, which will become kq by r, which will also be the potential at point A. So answer will be kq by small r, which is option B. Here we have to find the internal energy of a in an adiabatic process is given, and we have to find the adiabatic constant. So you know that here U is given as a plus b pv. So this is given to us. A and b are some constant. Now using ideal gas equation, you can write pv as nrt. Okay, pv as nrt. So if I write du, so what is du? Du will be is equals to, if I differentiate this, so basically this will become du, and a will become zero because it's a constant, and this will become b into n into r dt. Okay, now try to recall the original formula of du. So original formula of du is ncv dt. Okay, ncv dt. That means if we compare the two scenarios, then you can see that cv is nothing but b cv is nothing but br. So if you can see that cv is nothing but b into r. Okay, now we can say that cp is equals to cv plus r, which means that it will be br b plus 1 r, b plus 1 r, right? And we know that gamma is nothing but cp by cv. So gamma is nothing but cp by cv. That means that will become b plus 1 upon b, which is option B. Let us see the next question. Here in a Young's double slit experiment, what is happening? There are two setups. In the first setup, the two slits are having the equal amplitude A. In the first setup, the two slits are coherent and have equal amplitude A and wavelength lambda. But in the second setup, the slits are again having the same amplitude, but they are incoherent. So see, that means if the we have to find the ratio of the intensities at the midpoint of the screen. That means at this point. Now see, if the both the slits are same, that means the intensity of the both the slits will be same, I and I. And at the midpoint, we know we will get a maxima. So that means I at the center, I'm calling at that as I1. So I1 will be is equals to the formula, first intensity of the first slit, which is I, plus intensity of the second slit, which is also I, plus 2 root of I1 I2, which is I into I, into cos theta will be 1. For maxima, cos theta is 1. So that means you can say that this will become 4i. Okay, this is the maximum intensity that you will get in the case of coherence. In the case of non-coherence, intensity at every point is simply the summation of intensity of both the slits. This is this result. If you know that intensity, there is no maxima minima that we get. There is no interference pattern that we observe in the incoherence case. In the incoherence case, there is intensity at every point is uniform, and which will be simply the summation of the intensity of the two slits. That means it will be simply 2i. Okay, hence we can say that we have to find the ratio in the first case to the second case. That means I1 is to I2 will be what? That will be 4i to 2i. Hence, it will become 2 is to 1. So, option A will be the correct answer for this question. Now, here we have to find the relative error in the calculation of G. Okay, so see, we have been given as T is equals to 2 pi under root of L by G. So, if you square this, this will become T square is equals to 4 pi square into L by G. So, from here, G will be is equals to 4 pi square into L by T square. Now, that means delta G by G will be is equals to delta L by L plus twice of delta T by T, and the relative error in the T was X and in the L was Y. That means this will become Y plus 2X. Okay, so that means option C will be the correct answer for this question. Now let us see the question number 18 here. So here we have got a square plate where the moment of inertias for this axis is given as I1, I2, I3, I4, and we have to comment. And what is I here? I is the moment of inertia about an axis which is passing through point O and perpendicular to the plate. That means I is the moment inertia of this about this axis. So imagine an axis which is passing through point O and going inside the screen. Okay, going inside the screen. This is the moment of inertia about the axis which is going inside the screen. Okay, now we have to find which we have to choose which is the correct relation. Okay, so basically see, if you apply the perpendicular axis theorem between 1, 2 and I. So remember, I is the axis which is coming towards us, so we can say that I will be is equals to I1 plus I2 using perpendicular axis theorem. Now see that I1 and I2 will be equal because they are symmetric. Okay, I1 is also it's just about the y axis and I2 is the x axis. So square plate is distributed symmetrically whether you're talking about y axis or z axis. So it automatically means that I1 will be is equals to I2, right? Okay, similarly if you look at 3 and 4, so if I so 3 and 4 are the diagonals of the square plate which are also perpendicular, and again both 3 and 4 are the diagonals of the square plate and they are bisecting the square plate symmetrically. So which we can say that that I3 will be is equals to I4 because they are bisecting the square plate symmetrically. And if I apply the perpendicular axis theorem between I3, I4 and I, so again I will get I is equals to I3 plus I4 if by applying the perpendicular axis theorem. Okay, now you see I1 equals to I2. That means we can say that I1 will be is equals to I2 will be is equals to I by 2. Okay, from this relation. And similarly I3 equals to I4. So from this relation we can say that I3 is equals to I4 is equals to I by 2. What do you understand from here? That I1 is equals to I2 is equals to I3 is equals to I4 is equals to I by 2. Okay, now if you see, that means this statement is correct because I is equals to I1 plus I2. This is anyway using perpendicular axis theorem. This statement is also correct because I1 is I by 2, I3 is also I by 2, is also correct. I2 is I by 2, I4 is I by 2, this is also correct. This is wrong because I by 2, I by 2, I by 2, I by 2 will become 2I. So this is wrong. So we have to choose the incorrect. So this is correct, this is correct, this is correct. So only fourth. That means our answer will be this. This will be the answer. Okay. These three things will not be the answer, remember. Okay, answer will be option D because you have to choose the incorrect one. So I hope you got the idea. Let us see the next question. Here we have got two dipoles. One of the dipole is PK cap located at the origin. So see, I'm drawing this as the x-axis and this as the z-axis. Please note that this is the z-axis that I'm drawing, not the y. So here P cap is a dipole which is kept at the origin. So this is how the P cap is kept, and P by 2 K cap is kept at 1, 2. So that means you have to go here and 2 you have to go here. So basically 1, 2. Okay. So this is P by 2 K cap. So this is how we are drawing P by 2 K cap, and this is PK cap. Okay. Now we have to find the resultant electric field at a point 1, 0. So that means we have to find electric field at this point A. Right. Now see, point A becomes the so this distance if you see is 1 meter. Okay, and this distance if you see is 2 meter. Correct. And point A becomes the equatorial point for the first dipole which is kept at origin. So because of this dipole, the electric field will be in the negative K direction. So which is E1. So what is the value of E1? That the formula will be Kp by R cube. So K into P by 1 cube. Okay, 1 cube, and this is will be in the negative K direction as I said. Similarly for the P by 2 dipole. So for so this P by 2 dipole, point A becomes the axial position. That means it is lying on the axis of the dipole. So here the electric field is in the same direction as that of dipole. On the axial points, you might be knowing that electric field is in the same direction as that of dipole. So this E2 will be in the K cap direction because dipole is also in the K cap direction. So formula is 2 Kp by R cube. So 2K, P means P by 2 here because the dipole was P by 2. 2 Kp by R cube. R here is 2. That means you will cube it and plus K cap direction. Okay, so now you have to find the net electric field. So E net will be the vector sum of these two. That means minus Kp plus this 2 and 2 will be gone. Kp by 8. Kp by 8 K cap. Okay, K cap. So that means we get how much? Minus 7 by 8. Minus 7 by 8 Kp. K you can write as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, into P into K cap. That means minus 7 by 32 pi epsilon naught K cap. So option B will be the correct answer for this particular question. Okay, let us see the next one. Here what is happening, there are two positive charged particles which are projected along the two parallel lines on a smooth horizontal surface. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Again we have to choose the incorrect statement before any collision. Okay, So basically, see, linear momentum of the system of the particle is conserved. This is correct because we can see that there is no external force acting on the system. So of course, in this scenario, linear momentum will remain conserved about any direction. This is a correct statement. The angular momentum of the system of the particle is conserved about any point in space is also correct because we can say that there is no external torque also. Okay, the both of them are applying some force on each other, but there is no external torque. Okay, so we can say that again angular momentum will remain conserved. The angular momentum of each particle is individually conserved about their center of mass. Now see, they're saying that individual of each particle is individually conserved about their center of mass. Now yes, this is also correct because we can say that the net force, the net torque will always pass through center of mass. If you understand, the like if you see, this is the center of mass, so whatever force they will apply the force through this line, yes or no. So basically we can say that the force will always pass through center of mass, and hence we can say that the net torque will pass through will be zero about center of mass individually. Okay, because the force on any particle will pass through center of mass, so we can say that the torque will be zero about center of mass individually. So the angular momentum will remain conserved individually also about center of mass. This is also correct. The angular momentum of each particle is individually conserved about any point in space. Now this is wrong because individually, suppose I'm talking about angular momentum about this point P. So the the force on V1 applied by V2 will be passing through center of mass, but this force will produce torque about point P. So about point P, individually the angular momentum will not conserve. If the statement would have been about total angular momentum, which is option B, which is what it is saying, about any point in the space, the total angular momentum of the system will remain conserved, but for a single particle, it will not be conserved. So this is an incorrect statement. Okay. Let's talk about the question number 21 here. So here, what are they saying? The RMS voltage across resistor, inductor, and capacitor are equal. Then we have to find the RMS voltage across resistor. Very easy question, which simply means that IRMS into XC is equals to IRMS into XL. IRMS XC is the RMS voltage across capacitor. IRMS XL is the RMS voltage across the inductor, and both of them are equal. This means that XC is equals to XL. Okay, this means that XC is equals to XL. Now directly you can say that the RMS voltage will be 200 upon root 2 itself, but because the whole voltage will be across resistor only, as these two will cancel out the voltages because they will be out of phase. But anyway, if you are not able to do directly, then what you can do, since XC is equals to XL, so what will be the impedance of the circuit? Impedance of the circuit will be equals to R, because XC has become equals to XL. That means what will be the RMS current? What will be the RMS current in the circuit? RMS current will be VRMS upon impedance. Yes or no? So VRMS is how much? VRMS is 200 by root 2. This is the value of VRMS, and Z is equals to R. That means this. So this is the RMS current. Now we have to find the RMS value of voltage across resistor. So what is this VRMS across R? So VRMS across R. VRMS across R will be IRMS into R. IRMS into R. So which means 200 by root 2 R into R. So R gets cancelled. So we get how much? We get 100 root 2, which on so root 2 is 1.414 and multiply by 100. So this becomes 141.4. So on rounding off to the nearest integer, it will become 141. Okay. Let's see the next one. So here what is happening, the potential energy of a body of mass 2 kg moving in the xy plane is given as 6x plus 8y. The position of the coordinates xy is 6, 4. So we have to find the time when it will cross the y-axis. So let's say this is the y-axis, and this point, let us say, is 6, 4. Okay. Now if you see what is the force acting on the object. So force you can get by differentiating potential energy. So that is minus del u by del x I cap and minus del u by del y j cap, right? So that means if you differentiate this function with respect to x, you will get minus 6 I cap minus 8 j cap. This is the value of the force. Now what is acceleration? So force upon mass. That means mass is 2 kg. So we can say that minus 3 I cap minus 4 j cap. This will be the value of the acceleration. Now that means the acceleration vector will is somewhat directed like this. So somewhat at this point will be the will the particle cross the y-axis. This is the y-axis. Okay. So that means at the point P, particle will cross the y-axis. So by the time particle crosses the y-axis, you can say that its x displacement would have become minus 6, because along the x-axis it would have moved minus 6. So we can say that displacement in the x-axis is minus 6. Now all what I will do is I will use Sx is equals to half into Ax into t square. Okay. So because initial velocity in x was 0, so minus 6 will be equals to half into acceleration in x, which is minus 3, okay, into t square. So from here you can see that minus minus will be gone. 6 to the 12 by 3 is 4. So that means time becomes 2 seconds. So 2 seconds will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood this. Let's see the question number 23. So in the question number 23, a 60 picofarad capacitor is fully charged to 20 volt supply. It is then disconnected and supply from the supply end is connected to another uncharged capacitor of 60 picofarad. The electrostatic energy that is lost in the nanojoule. So basically, see, suppose we have a capacitor of 60 picofarad, okay, and it is connected to 20-volt supply. So first of all, try to calculate how much charge it will have. So that means 60 picofarad, okay, into 20 volt. So this means becomes 1200 pico coulombs. So that means we can say that 1.2 nano, 1.2 16 to 12, 20 is how much? 16 to 20 is 1200 pico coulombs. That means 1.2 nano coulombs. This is the Q. This is the value of Q. This is the charge. Okay. Now, now if you see, if you remove the battery, first you remove the battery. So now you have this much capacitor. Okay. And how much charge it has? It has 1.2 nanocoulombs charge. So right now, how much energy it has? So right now it has the energy, you can say half CV square. Okay. That means half into C was how much? C was 60 picofarad. That means I will do this into nano. So 0.06. This is 0.06 nanofarad. So point half into C into V square. That means 20 into 20. So this becomes, how much? Like 100. So 6 to 12 nanojoules. 12 nanojoules is the energy right now. Okay, 12 nanojoules is the energy right now, and the charge is 1.2 nanocoulombs. Now what you are doing, you are distributing this into two identical capacitors. So naturally the charge will get distributed identically. So half charge it will get. So basically we can say that here you will get zero point 0.6 nanocoulombs, and here also you will get 0.6 nanocoulombs. So charge is getting distributed equally. Yes or no? So now this is a 60 picofarad capacitor. That means 0.06 nanofarad capacitor, and this is also a 0.06 nanofarad capacitor. So what is the total energy? Now what is the total energy now? So you final. So energy of the one capacitor is Q square by 2C. That means zero point 0.6 into zero point 0.6. This is the Q square by 2C. C is 0.06. This is the energy of one capacitor, and we have to multiply this by 2. So this is the energy remaining after distribution. So if you see how much we will get, 2 gone, and this becomes how much? So if you, that means if you multiply by 100, so 6 into 6 divided by 6, that means 6 nanojoules. 6 nanojoules is the energy remaining after distribution. And what was the initial energy? Initial energy was 12. Initial energy was 12 nanojoules. So that means energy lost. You lost will be 12 minus 6. So we can say that it will be 6 nanojoules. That will be energy lost. So answer of this question will be 6 nanojoules. Okay. Let us do the next question. So basically here what is happening, there are two blocks which are being pulled like this, and we have to find the tension in this string. Now if you see, value of F2 is how much? It is 12 Newton, and value of F1 is 3 Newton. Okay, so that means the system has a tendency to go towards the right. If there was no friction, then system would have moved towards right. Now let us see whether the system will be able to move or not. So how much friction is here? So friction 2, maximum value, limiting value if you are talking about. So maximum value of friction 2 is 0.2 into 30, which becomes 6 Newton. And maximum value of friction 1, limiting value I'm talking about. So limiting value will be 0.1 into 20, that means 2 Newton. So you can see that the total friction available is 8 Newton. Okay, but the net force acting towards right is 12 minus 3, which is 9 Newton. So even if the total friction acts towards left, then also the system will not be able to stay at equilibrium. That means system will move towards right. And if you see, so we can say that while the system will be moving, so this friction of 6 Newton will act towards left, this friction of 2 Newton will act towards left, and 3 Newton will act towards left, whereas this 12 Newton will act towards right. So what will be the net force? Net force will be 12 minus 2 minus 6 minus 3, which will become 1 Newton. Hence what will be the acceleration of the system? Force upon mass, which is 5 kg. That means 0.2 meter per second square is the acceleration of the system. Now what we have to find? We have to find the tension in this string. So let us say tension in this string is T. So what will you do? T minus, now if you look at the block 2 kg, this block if you have to consider, so T minus friction, which is 2, minus the this force, which is 3, is equals to mass, which is 2, into acceleration. Acceleration is 0.2. So we get T is equals to how much? 5.4 Newton, which we have to compare with x by 10. So that means x becomes how much? X becomes 54. X becomes 54 here. So you can write this value as 54. I hope you got this. Let's see this question here. So here we have to find the reading of the ammeter. Notice that whatever current is going in the ammeter will also go through the cell. Okay. So now if you see this 12 ohm, 4 ohm and 2 ohm, they are in parallel. Okay. So it's just that if you draw this 12 ohms over here, then you will understand that they are in parallel. They have drawn it down. You can draw it up. Okay. So this 12 ohm, 4 ohm and 2 ohm are in parallel. So first let's find the R equivalent of these three. So 1 upon 12 plus 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 2. The LCM will be 12 itself. So that means 1 plus 3 plus 6. That means this becomes 10 by 12. So R equivalent becomes 12 by 10. So R equivalent becomes 12 by 10, which is 1.2 ohms. So equivalent resistance of these three will be 1.2 ohms. Now if I remove these three resistors and just attach a single resistor of 1.2 ohm. So this is the cell, this is the A ammeter, and this 0.3 ohm is as it is, and one remaining 3 becomes 1.2 ohms. 1.2 ohms. Now what is the series combination of these two? So series combination of these two is how much? 1.5. So now the overall R equivalent, this was the equivalent of these three. So overall R circuit, let me write R circuit. So R circuit will be 1.2 plus 0.3. That means this will become 1.5 ohm. Okay, R circuit will be 1.5 ohm, and hence we can say that the current that will flow in this direction I will be is equals to battery voltage, which is 1.5 volt, divided by R circuit, that means equals to 1 ampere. And this 1 ampere will also cross the ammeter, hence the reading of the ammeter will be 1 ampere itself. So answer for this question will be 1 ampere. I hope you have understood this. Thank you all of you. I hope you have understood every question. Thank you.
Hello students, here we are to discuss the FLT-15. So without wasting the time, we're going to discuss from question 1 to 25. So here is the question first. The question first says, assertion A, that is the FeCN whole 6 whole thrice is more stable than FeCN whole 6 4 minus. The reason says complex where the iron is in the +3 oxidation state are generally more stable than those in +2 oxidation state. If we find the oxidation state in the first complex, the oxidation state of iron here 3 minus, that is it is in +3. And for the complex 2, that is FeCN whole 6 4 minus, here the oxidation state is +2. So generally for the coordination compound, for a coordination compound, stability is directly proportional to the CFSE value. CFSE, or we can say crystal field del O. CFSE, or we can say here that is the del O for octahedral complex. And del O is depends on oxidation state, directly proportional to the oxidation state. So higher the oxidation state, higher will be the stability. So definitely the complex in which iron having a +3 oxidation state is more stable. So assertion is right. If we talk about the reason, so definitely the reason which is given is right and is a correct explanation for the assertion. So for this, assertion is true and reason is true, and reason is the correct explanation for the assertion, means the answer should be A. Let's cross check the answer. Definitely A is the right answer. Now come to the question number 2. Here is the question number 2. The expression is, there is a question, consider the following chemical reaction and the corresponding kinetic data showing in the initial reaction rate as a function of the initial concentration of the reactants. So in this case, reaction is given below and the data is given in a table. So from experiment 1, experiment 2, experiment 3 and experiment 4, I already wrote the information and write the equation. So from if we divide equation 2 by 1, then we will get equation 2 divided by 1, then we will get 7.4 divided by 3.7, and from here we will get the information about the Z. So now next we will divide the equation 3 divided by 4. Equation 3 divided by 4. So on dividing the equation 3 divided by 4, we will get 7.4 divided by 3.7 is equal to 0.01 divided by 0.05 whole to the power y into, in the case of Z, it should be 1 upon 2 whole to the power Z, 1 upon 2 whole to the power Z. And we know that Z is equal to 1. So 2 is equal to, that should be 2 to the power y into 1 upon 2. So it should be 2 square is equal to 2 to the power y. Now from here we can get y is equal to 1. Y is equal to 1. Now you get the y is equal to 2, y is equal to 2. Now we get the value Z is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2. Now we're gonna divide the equation 2 divided by 3 because we have the value of Z and y. So for 2 divided by 3, we will get equation 2 divided by 3. From the data, we will get 1 is equal to 1 by 2. 1 is equal to 1 by 2 to the power x into y 0.01, this term and this term will cancel out, and for z that should be z upon 1, that should be 2 upon 1 whole to the power 1. Now on solving the equation, 1 by 2 whole to the power 1 is equal to 1 by 2 whole to the power x. Now on solving this, we will get x is equal to 1. So as we know, overall order of the reaction is the sum of the power, that should be x plus y plus z. Now we know the value of x, that is a 1 plus 2 plus 1, that should equal to 4. So the answer is 4. Yes, definitely answer is 4. So correct option is D. Now this is a question number 2. Now we're going to solve the next question, that is a question number 3. A 0.4 m aqueous solution of NaXA has freezing point minus 3.72 degrees Celsius if Kf of H2O is 1.86 kg mole inverse. The value of X in the salt is. Assume 100% ionization. Assume 100% ionization. So for this, we know the formula, that is delta Tf is equal to I into Kf into molality. From here, we just need to find the value of I. So what is the value of Tf? That is the 3.75. 3.72 is equal to I. We just need to calculate it. The value of Kf, that is 1.86, and that is 0.4. So for I is equal to 3.72 divided by 1.86 into 0.4, that should equal to, that should be 310 upon 63. I just cut the equation. Now I know this thing, this is almost equal to, this is almost equal to 4. This is almost equal to, sorry, this is almost equal to 5. So from NaXA, this will going to dissociate XNA plus AX minus. I know that I am considering here initially T is equal to, at 0 time, the number of moles of NaXA are 1 dash dash after T is equal to T time. Assuming the complete dissociation, this will vanish, and how many moles of Na will form? That is the X, and the moles of Ax minus, that is 1. So from here, I is equal to X plus 1 divided by 1, that should equal to 310 upon 63. On solving the value of X, we will get the value 3.92, 3.92, which is almost equal to 4, which is almost equal to 4. So from here, we can say the value of X is 4. We just need to cross check the answer. Definitely answer should be C. C is the right answer. Now we're going to discuss the question number 4. Question number 4. If we talk about this question, the enthalpy of combustion of propane is given, propane gas is term of given data is bond energy, is bond energy. So we know that if we burn, if we react, if C3H8 react with oxygen, it will give CO2 gas plus H2O liquid. So we know that when we burn this equation, first it will convert into the CO2 gas and plus H2O gas. Then this will convert into the CO2, resonance stabilized CO2, and this will convert into the H2O liquid. So for the calculation of this del H equation, this is supposed del H1, this is del H2, and this is del H3, where del H2 is resonance energy, resonance enthalpy, and where H3 is the enthalpy of vaporization. Enthalpy of vaporization. In this case, we have the data to convert the liquid, we have a data of H2O liquid to H2O gas, that is a y kilojoule. For in this case, del H3 should equal to, that should equal to minus y, where del H2 is equal to, in this case, that should be equal to, because the process is convert from gas to liquid. This is a just a reverse process. It means here in the given question, the data, the information which is given, that is from liquid to gas, but in this case we have to put the data for gas to liquid. That should be equal to, that should be in minus y kilojoule. First we need to balance the equation. For balance the equation, that should be 3 and that should be 4, and for oxygen it should be 5, so that should be 3 and that should be 4. So del H3 should be minus 4y, whereas del H2 should be equal to minus 3z. Now first we need to calculate the value for del H1. So del H is equal to del H1 plus del H2 and plus del H3. Now for the calculation for del H1, for del H1, the enthalpy of bond energy data is given for del H1. So for del H1, in the case of C3H8, there is a 8 carbon and hydrogen bonds. So 8 into carbon and hydrogen, that is a X1 plus, and there is a 2 carbon and carbon bond. For carbon and carbon bonds, there is a X5, so 2X5 plus, there is a 5 oxygen double bond oxygen are present. So for oxygen double bond oxygen, that should be 5 O double bond O, that should be X2. This is for the bond energy of reactant. Minus, this is for del H1, minus how many bonds are formed. There are 6 carbon double bond oxygen are formed, so 6X3 plus how many oxygen and hydrogen bond are formed. In this case, there are 8 hydrogen and oxygen bond are formed. For this, 8X4, then this there should be a big bracket. This is for the del H1. Now we know for del H3, del H2, that should be minus 3Z, because the resonance carbon dioxide will resonance stabilized, so that should be 3Z, and there is a water molecule which convert from gas to liquid, so it should be the reverse of the vaporization, so it should be the minus 4y. On solving this, you will get 8X1 plus 2X5 plus 5X2 minus 6X3 minus 8X4 minus 3Z and minus 4y. So from here we can see which option should be the right. From here we can see option A is the right option. So I think it is clear to you guys. So we will cross check the answer. Yes, definitely A is the right answer. Now question number 5. So in ICl2 plus, how many bond pair? Bond pair are 2. And how many lone pair? And the lone pair should be here. If we take it 6 out of 6, the lone pair should be 4. The sum is lone pair is 2. 4, because after formation of 2 bond pair, 4 electrons are left on iodine, hence the lone pair are left 2. That should be the 4. In the case of ICl2 minus, bond pair, definitely there is a 2. If I'm talking about the lone pair, the number of lone pair is 3. If I'm talking about the sum is 5. In the case of ICl4 minus, bond pair is 4. After formation of 4 bond, the lone pair which are left, that is 2. On addition, it should be 6. So the right answer should be D. I think it is clear. Now we're going to cross check the answer. Yes, definitely D is the right answer. So now there is the next question. Which of the following is a correct statement? So let's check the option A. For option A, as we know, the oxidizing agent are those agents which oxidizes the other and reduce itself. So what is for option A, what is the electronic configuration? Cr2 plus is argon, and that is a 3d4, and it will convert into the Cr3 plus by removing an electron, and the electronic configuration is 3d3, which is stabilized due to the T2G3 electronic configuration, which is a half filled. That is why it will get stabilized. So in this case, it will get oxidized to get the stability, and the element which get oxidized by its which get oxidized itself, then it is a good reducing agent. So Cr2 plus is a reducing agent, not the oxidizing agent. Whereas if we talk about the Mn3 plus, if I'm talking about the Mn3 plus, the electronic configuration is 3d4, and it will convert into the Mn2 plus, and the electronic configuration is argon and 3d5. Due to the half fill electronic configuration, it will get stabilized. Or we can cross check this data from electrochemistry, from electrochemical set. It also says that it is a oxidizing agent. It is a oxidizing agent. Now, so it is a wrong statement if we talk about the option B. Yes, many copper compounds are unstable in aqueous solution and it undergo disproportionation. This is the right statement, which is given in the NCERT book. If we talk about the C statement, the oxidation state of iron in FeO4 2 minus, in this case, the oxidation state of iron is +6. That is not the fractional, it is a whole integer. If we talk about the actinoid contraction is lesser from element to element than lanthanoid contraction, no, this is also not the right statement. In the case of actinides, there is a 2f orbitals, that is a 4f and 5f. Due to the 2f orbitals, because of the 2f subshells, the actinoid contraction is greater as compared to the lanthanide contraction. So this statement is also wrong, hence the right answer should be B. So let's cross check the answer. Definitely B is the right answer. Now come to the next question. The major product of the following. In this case, this is the tertiary butoxide, which is a bulky base. So in this case, if I'm talking about the reaction, that should be CH3, CH, and that should be CH3 and CHCl. Tertiary butoxide, that is a CH3 whole thrice CO minus. It is a bulky base, so it will abstract the hydrogen ion from the side carbon atom, because it is a bulky in nature. So it will form, this bond will going to break and this will leave. So what should be the product? CH3C, CH3, and that should be the CH double bond CH2. On ozonolysis, first it will give in the presence of H2O2. In the presence of H2O2, actually it is an oxidative ozonolysis. Due to the oxidative ozonolysis, the product should be CH3C, CH3H, that should be COOH plus HCOOH. That should be the product, because first it will form the aldehyde, then H2O2 will further oxidize the aldehyde which form on the ozonolysis. So which should be the right option? Right option should be the D, because in the last case there is a oxidative ozonolysis. Now we're going to cross check the answer. Definitely D is the right answer. Now this is a question number 7. Now let's discuss the question number 8. Here the IUPAC nomenclature of the given compound. We will start the numbering in the given case. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. As we know, this is bromo, this is chloro. So from alphabetical order, the name should be 3-bromo, 2-chloro, and there is a 5 carbon chain, so that should be pentane. Now cross check the answer. That should be 3-bromo, 2-chloropentane. The right answer, 3-bromo, 2-chloropentane. The right answer should be B. Now, yes, definitely right answer is B. Now we're gonna solve the question number 9. So in which of the following is not a gaseous element? So remember, students, remember this thing. Br2 at room temperature. It is liquid at room temperature. It is liquid at room temperature. So right answer should be C. Now we're going to cross check the answer. Yes, definitely C is the right answer. Now let's discuss the question number 10. In question number 10, In question number 10, if we write the sequence of the reaction, there is a one compound that is CH3, that is Br, that is NO2. First, it will react with metal in the presence of acid. It convert the NO2 group into the NH2, so the product should be NH3, NH2. After this, it will react with NaNO2 in the present at 273 Kelvin. So it is a reagent which convert the aniline into the disonium salt. Basically, the NH2 will convert into the disonium salt. So the product should be, in this case, the product should be, that is CH3 and Br, and this will convert into the N2Cl. After this, it will react with H2PO2 in the presence of H2O and heat. This reagent will convert the disonium salt into the benzene. So hence CH3 and this is Br, and here hydrogen will come. After this, KMnO4 is a strong oxidizing agent which convert the toluene into the benzoic acid. So it react with CH3 and it convert it into the COOH and the Br. This should be the final product. Let's cross check the answer. Which option should be the right? From here we can say the option C should be the right option. Let's cross check the answer. Yes, definitely C is the right answer. Now here question number 11 which we need to discuss. So for the stability of a resonating structure, the first which you have to find the number of pi bond or the compound in which the octet of all element is completed and there is no charge separation is present. So in the all given structure, the first structure which have a one pi bond and the octet of all element is completed in this case, and also there is no charge separation. Hence, the first structure should be the most stable. Now, for rest of the three, out of rest of three structure, in the third structure and in the fourth structure, there is a two elements in which the octet is incomplete. In the third structure, if we talk about, the octet of carbon is incomplete. In the fourth structure, the octet of oxygen is incomplete. So out of these three structure, 3 and 4 is less stable as compared to the second one. So hence, in the second case, the octet of the all structure is completed. So second structure is the second having the stability at the second position. Now we need to discuss out of third and fourth which one is more stable. So out of third and fourth, if there is a charge separation in a resonating structure, in that case the negative charge is more stable on that atom which having a more electronegativity. So out of carbon and oxygen, which one having a more electronegativity? Out of carbon and oxygen having a more electronegativity. Hence the negative charge will be more stable at oxygen. So third structure will be come at third place and the fourth structure will come at fourth place. So the stability order start from fourth to end at first. So from here we can see option B is the right option. Now, yes, definitely B is the right option. Now we're gonna discuss the next question. That is the question number 12. So in the question number 12, the pH of the saturated solution of silver salt of monobasic acid Ha is found to be now 9. Means the pH of the solution is 9. Select the option which is correct given. So the value of Ka is Ha is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 10. Basically, this is a case of simultaneous equilibrium. We know that there is a one salt which is formed with the reaction of the salt of the silver salt of monobasic acid. That should be Ag. A is the salt of silver and the monobasic acid. That should be A2, not the 2 plus, that A plus A2 minus. On when we dissolve this salt into the water, initially it is a solid, the some moles of AgCl will going to dissociate Let consider x mole will dissociate. So the how much amount of Ag plus will form? That should be the x. The concentration of Ag plus is x, then x of A minus. Now A minus will further hydrolyze and it will form Ha plus OH minus. This is a case of salt hydrolysis. In this case, the concentration of A minus, the concentration of salt is that is a x, and definitely this initially this Ha and OH will not form. After certain time, how much amount of Ha will form after certain time? A moles, let's suppose Y moles of A minus will get hydrolyzed, and the Y amount of Ha will form, and the Y amount of OH minus will form. So this is the case. We need to write here Y also, X minus Y. So from here we need to calculate the Kh hydrolysis constant. The formula of the hydrolysis constant is equal to Kw upon Ka, and the value of Kw we know that is a 10 to the power minus 14, and the value of Ka is there, that is 10 to the power minus 10. So 10 to the, what is the value of Kh? The value of Kh is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 4. Now we know that the question says the pH of the solution be 9. So we know that if the pH is equal to 9, it means the H plus ion concentration is equal to 10 to the power minus 9. And we know that H plus ion concentration and OH minus ion concentration, the multiplication of this, that should be equal to 10 raised to the power minus 14 from the ionic product of the water. So now from here we need to find the OH minus concentration, that should be equal to 10 raised to the power minus 14 divided by 10 raised to the power minus 9. So the value of OH minus ion concentration, that should be equal to 10 raised to the power minus 6. Now from equation this we know that Kh is equal to, that should be y square upon x minus y. We know the value of Kh. The value of Kh is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 4. That should equal to y square upon x minus y. And we know the concentration of OH minus is equal to y. So the value of y is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 6. Now on solving this equation, we can write x minus y is equal to y square upon 10 raised to the power minus 4. So x minus 10 raised to the power minus, first we need to find the x minus y. X minus y is equal to 10 raised to the power, here it should be 5, not 6, it should be 5. It should be 5. So y square is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 10 upon 10 raised to the power minus 4. That is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 6. So what is x minus y? X minus y is the concentration of A minus. Now I just need to find the value of x. So the value of x is equal to, because I need concentration of Ag plus. So x is equal to 10 raised to the power minus 6. That should be plus. What is the value of 10 raised to the power minus 5? On adding the equation, the value that should be 1.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. Now from here, the solubility of the silver salt is 1.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. Definitely the x is the solubility of the silver salt. So the value of the solubility is 1.1. You can see from here, that is a 1.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. So yes, definitely statement 1 is the right statement. Solubility product of silver salt is 1.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 11. We just need to calculate this, that is the Ksp is equal to x into x minus y. What is the value of x? The value of x is 1.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. And what is the value of x minus y? The value of x minus y is 10 raised to the power minus 6. That should be 1.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 11. Yes, definitely B statement is, the second statement is also right. The concentration of Ag plus ion in the solution will be greater than A minus. The concentration of A minus is 10 raised to the power minus 6, and the concentration of Ag plus ion, that is Ag plus ion, that is 1.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. Definitely the concentration of Ag plus ion in the solution is greater than A minus. So it means all the three statements are right from given information with the help of the given data. So which option should be the right? Option D should be the right. This is a very nice question. Now we cross check the answer. Yes, definitely D is the right answer. Now we're going to discuss the question number 13. When photons of energy 4.25 electron volt strike the surface of a metal, the ejected photoelectrons have kinetic energy, that is Ta, and the de Broglie wavelength lambda A. The maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons liberated from another metal by the photons of energy 4.20 electron volt is Tb is equal to Ta minus 1.50 electron volt. Okay, so for metal A, for metal A, for metal A, we know that the formula of the kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. So for metal A, the kinetic energy is Ta is equal to half into, if we divide m, if we multiply m and divide by m, so the formula will become m square into va square divided by m. From here we can write Ta is equal to half, that should be Pa square upon m, because the formula of the momentum is equal to mass into velocity. So as we know that from de Broglie wavelength lambda is equal to h upon p, so from here p is equal to h upon lambda. Now put the value, that is Ta is equal to half into, that should be h square upon m into lambda a square. Similarly for Tb, similarly for metal B, that is Tb is equal to half h square upon m into delta Tb square. Now we just need to find the ratio between Ta and Tb. So Tb upon Ta, that should equal to lambda A square upon lambda B square. From the question, we can see that lambda b is equal to 2 lambda a. So from here Tb is equal to Ta is equal to, that should be equal to 1 upon 4. As you know, Tb is equal to Ta minus 1.4, so Ta minus 1.4 upon Ta, that should equal to 1 upon 4. Now solve this. 4Ta is minus 6, that should equal to Ta. So Ta is equal to 2 electron volt. From here we can see option C is the right option. To cross check the other option, you just need to put the value and solve for those. As you know that from photoelectric effect, E is equal to E naught plus kinetic energy. You just need to put the value. First you need to calculate the Tb. So for Tb is equal to, we know that Ta minus 1.5, the value of Ta is 2, so 2 minus 1.5, so Tb is equal to 0.5. Definitely Tb is, so D is the wrong statement. Now for metal A, you know the energy of the photons, that is a 4.25 for metal A. That should be for metal A, we know the formula, that is E is equal to E naught for metal A plus kinetic energy. So for metal A, the energy of the photon is the 4.25 and the kinetic energy is 2. So 4.25 is equal to E plus 2. So E naught is equal to 2.25. So this is the work function. So the work function of metal A is 2.5, not the 2.25, not the 2.05. So this is the wrong statement. Similarly, you can calculate for B, you will get the answer. B is also the wrong statement. From here we can say only C option is the right option. Okay, hopefully do you understand this question. Now we're going to cross check. Yes, definitely C is the right answer. Now come to the question number, this is the question number 13. Now come to the question number 14. Basically this is a Birch reduction. So when benzene react with Na oblique liquid ammonia, it convert the benzene into the diene. If let's suppose there is a electron withdrawing group is present. If electron withdrawing group is present, then the product should be this. If suppose there is an electron donating group is present, then the product should be you just need to remember these two reactions. So from here COOH is the electron withdrawing group. So from here we can say A option is the right option. We just need to cross check. Yes, definitely. Other options are given as B, C, and here is a D option. So yes, definitely A is a right answer. A is a right answer. Now this is question number 14. We're gonna discuss the question number 15. Question number 15 says that the heat capacity of A, B, and C are in the ratio of 1, 2, and 3. 1 ratio, 2 ratio, 3. The enthalpy change for the reaction A gives B. Definitely A gives B, B gives C. The at temperature T1 is delta H1. Assuming the heat capacity do not change with the temperature, then the enthalpy change for del H2 at temperature T2 will be. So for the reaction A gives B for this, and then B gives C. Let the heat capacity of A, Cm of A, that is equal to X, and Cm for B, that is equal to 2X, and molar heat capacity of for C, that should equal to 3X. So for the first equation, if I find the change delta Cm1, that should equal to 2x minus x. For this equation delta Cm2, that should equal to 3x minus 2x. Now just add these two equations, you will get A to C. For this delta Cm3 is equal to delta Cm1 plus delta Cm3 is equal to del Cm1 plus del Cm2. Hess law will apply here also. So what is the value of Cm1? That should be x, and for Cm2, 3x minus 2x, that will also become x. So plus x, that is equal to 2x. So the total change in molar enthalpy will be 2x when we go from A to C. Now we know the formula, that is the del H2 minus del H1 divided by T2, the relation between the enthalpy at two different temperatures, that is equal to del CPM, that is a molar heat capacity at constant pressure. This is known as a Clausius-Clapeyron equation. So from here we just need to calculate, that should be del H2 minus del H1 is equal to del CPM, that is T2 minus T1. Now from here we can see if T2 is greater than T1. Let's suppose T2 is greater than T1. If T2 is greater than T1, that means this whole term will become positive. If it is positive, it is only possible when del H2 is greater than del H1. If T2 is less than T1, in that case del H2 will smaller than del H1, because we know that at CPM it is always positive. Molar heat capacity of a substance is always positive. So from here we can say greater or less than del H1 depending on the T2 or T1. Basically del H1 and del H2 will depend on the temperature. If T2 is greater, then del H2 is greater. If D1 is greater, then del H1 is greater. From here we can say D option is the right option. So we're gonna discuss the next question. That is a question number for this is a question number 15. Yes, definitely D is the right answer. Now here we're just gonna discuss the question number 16. So in this case, for question number 16, first we need to write the equation for this. For at anode, the equation is Cr will convert into the Cr3 plus 3 electron, and for at cathode, that should be Fe2 plus 2 electron, that will convert into the Fe. So you just need to multiply the above equation with the 2, and the reaction which at cathode multiply by 3 just need to add. So Cr plus 3 Fe2 plus will give 2 Cr3 plus 3 Fe, and that should be 2. So how many number of electrons which are taking part for the cell reaction? That is 6. And the second thing which we need to calculate, that is the E naught cell, that is E right minus E left. We know that the right electrode is a cathode. So for Fe2 plus and Fe, the information is that is minus 0.42 and minus 0.72. Now on solving this, we will get the 0.3 3 volt. We know the next equation to calculate the cell potential. E cell is equal to E naught cell minus, that should be 0.059 divided by 6 divided by n into log, that should be Cr3 plus whole to the power 2 divided by Fe2 plus whole to the power 3. Now we just need to put the value. E naught cell is equal to, that is 0.3 minus 0.059 divided by 6, that should be log, and what is the concentration of Cr3 plus, that should be 0.1 into 0.1 divided by 0.01 into 0.01 into 0.01. So on solving this, that should be 0.3 minus 0.059 divided by 6, that should be log 10 to the power 0.01, 0.0.0101, that should be on solving this, that should be 10 to the power minus 4. 10 to the power minus 4. This is almost 0.3 minus 0.06 divided by 6 into, that should be not minus 4, that should be 4 log 10. And on solving this, E cell is equal to, that should be, is definitely minus. So in this case, we're gonna get 0.3 minus 0.04. Now answer should be 0.26 from here. So from here we can say answer is D. We just need to cross check. Yes, definitely D is the right answer. D is the right answer. So here it is the question number 16. We just need to discuss the question number 17. So in question number 17, which of the following statements are true? If we talk about which of the following statements are true. Statement 1. N2, the doubly degenerate orbital pi to pi orbitals are completely filled. Yes, if we draw the MOT of the N2, the MOT of N2 is 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the MOT, rough diagram of MOT. This is the sigma 1s, sigma star 2s, and so on. Like this is a sigma 2px and sigma 2py. This is the sigma 2pz. So if we put the electron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Definitely, doubly degenerate pi 2p orbitals are completely filled. This statement is a right. Similarly, O2, the energy of sigma 2pz orbital is lower than doubly degenerate orbitals of 2py. So for second statement, if we draw the MOT diagram for O2, this is a sigma 2pz and this is a pi 2px and this is pi 2py. Definitely the energy of singly degenerate sigma 2p orbital having a less energy as compared to the doubly degenerate 2p pi orbitals. Yes, second statement is also right statement. If we talk about the third, the different molecular species with the same configuration have the same energy. No, actually energy is also depends on the interaction between the nucleus of two atoms. If the interaction is more, then the stability is more. So for this case, the energy also depends on the nucleus. So this statement is wrong statement. For this fourth statement, a 2 pi star 2p orbital has two nodal plane. When we talk about the pi star orbital, that should be, it look like something this, and definitely there is a pi plus minus plus minus. There is a two nodes which is passed through from here and here. Yes, it having a two nodal plane. So statement 1, 2nd, and 4th are the right statement. From here we can say option A is the right statement. So we're going to cross check the answers. Yes, definitely 17 is the right answer. Now we're going to discuss the question number 18. Why is invert sugar? What is invert sugar and why is it so named? Actually, when basically sugar is a sucrose. So when we hydrolyze the sucrose, it will convert into the glucose plus fructose. Basically, sucrose is dextrorotatory, whereas glucose is a dextrorotatory, and this is the levorotatory. The it rotate the plane polarized into the clockwise direction, whereas it is rotated in the anti-clockwise direction. And I think the value of glucose is around 52.9 around, and the value of fructose is 92 point around something. So ultimately, the final solution after the hydrolysis of the sugar is levo. Means the solution of sucrose is aqueous solution of sucrose will be levo. So sucrose is a dextro. When we dissolve it into the water, the final solution will be levorotatory. This phenomena is known as a invert sugar, or we can say this inversion of plane polarized light is due to the this inversion of the plane polarized light is known as the inversion, and the final solution, the final product, are known as the invert sugar. I just picked the screenshot of the NCRT. So the sucrose is a dextrorotatory, but after the hydrolysis gives dextrorotatory glucose and levorotatory fructose. Since the levo-rotation of fructose is minus 19.4, minus 90, minus 92.4, whereas that is a 52.5, that is a 52.5 plus. So the ultimately solution is levo. This is why the product of hydrolysis of sucrose is known as a invert sugar. I think hopefully it is clear to all of you. So we're going to cross check. Yes, definitely B is the right answer. From here we can say option B is the right answer. So come to the question number, that is a question number 18. We need to discuss the question number 19. Which of the following system has a maximum number of unpaired electrons? So in the case of D5, the electronic configuration is how many number of electrons are present? D5 octahedral low spin, number of unpaired electron, that is n is equal to 1. In this case D8 tetrahedral, so n is equal to 2. In the case of D6, that is n is equal to 0 in the low spin case. And in the case of D3, In the case of D3 for octahedral, so number of unpaired electron is 3. So from here we can say D is the right answer because it having a maximum number of unpaired electron, that is a 3. Now we're going to cross check the answer. Definitely 19 is the right answer. Now we just need to discuss the question number 20. Glycerol is separated in soap industry by, the answer is the answer is distillation under reduced pressure. So for this I just pick a cut, or we can say, or a screenshot from NCRT. So from NCRT, we can say distillation under the reduced pressure. This method is used to purify liquid having very high boiling point and those which decompose at or below their boiling point. Such liquids are made to boil at low temperature than their normal boiling point by reducing a pressure on their surface. Hence, a liquid boil at a temperature at which its vapor pressure is equal to its external pressure. So the pressure is reduced with the help of the water pump or vacuum pump. There is an example which is given in the NCRT, that is a glycerol can be separated from spent lime in a soap industry by using this technique. So basically this technique is used for those solvent, for those liquid which having a very high boiling point, or we can say at their boiling point. If we increase the temperature, the temperature, so for those liquid which will decompose before their boiling point. So this is an example of distillation under the reduced pressure. You have to remember this line, that is the glycerol can be separated from spent lime in soap industry by using this technique. So what should be the answer? So answer is B, distillation under the reduced pressure. We're going to cross check the answer. Definitely B is the right answer. This is the question number 20. Now we're going to discuss the question number 21. The number of elements in the fifth period. So how many number of elements in the fifth period? There are 18 elements present in fifth period. That is X. So the value of X is 18. And the atomic number of first noble gases. Helium is the first noble gas and the atomic number of helium is 2. This is Y. So we just need to find X plus Y, that is equal to 20. So answer is 20. Now we're going to cross check the answer of 21. Yes, definitely 20 is the right answer. Now we just need to discuss the question number 21. So this is a question number 21. So CH3, CH2, and this is CHCl and CHCl. So excess of NaNH2 is present. Basically this is a case of beta elimination, and we can say in the presence of NH4Cl. So from here we can see CH3CH not C, that should be triple bond CH will form in the presence of red or hot iron tube Fe. This will be the aromatization formation of benzene, or we can say cyclic polymerization. So the product should be, so that is a aromatic hydrocarbon. Definitely aromatic hydrocarbon will form. So the number of sp2 carbon atom present in the aromatic hydrocarbon obtained in the given structure. So how many number of aromatic carbon are present in this case? There are 6 sp2 carbon which is present in the given complex. So answer should be 6. We're going to cross check. Yes, definitely 6 is the right answer. 6 is the right answer. Now this is the question number 22. We're going to discuss the question number 23. In this case, a vessel contains A gas and B gas at 2 atm and 4 atm respectively. So from here, we can find the number of moles of A, that is equal to, we know the formula PV upon RT. So that is the pressure is 2, so 2V upon RT. And NB, and that is initially, so NB is equal to 4V upon RT. And after some time, so from here we can see B will going to decompose into the A, that is 8 and 8 plus C solid. So initially T is equal to at 0 time, how many moles of B are present? Moles of B are 4V upon RT. And how many moles of A are present? How many moles of A are present? This is 2V upon RT. Suppose it after a certain time equilibrium will establish. At T is equal to T equilibrium, let's suppose X mole of B will decompose and give A and C. So 4V upon RT minus X, 2V upon RT plus X and X. Actually, C is solid. So there is no effect on equilibrium of C. There is no effect of C on equilibrium. So from here, we know the relation, that is Na upon Nb at equilibrium is equal to Nb upon Na initial. So just we need to put the value, how many moles of A are present, that is 2V upon RT plus X divided by 4V upon RT minus X. That should be equal to NB, the value of NB is 4V upon RT divided by what is the value of Na, that is a 2V upon RT. So solve this equation, you will get the value 2. Now you just need to solve the value of X. So from here we can solve the value of X, that should be 2V upon RT plus X is equal to 8V upon RT minus 2X. So on solving this equation we will get, that should be 3X. 3X is equal to, so 3X is equal to 8V upon RT minus plus, oh sorry, that should be minus 2V upon RT. So you will get X is equal to 3X is equal to 6V upon RT. So X is equal to, that is the 2V upon RT. So the number of moles at equilibrium, NB is equal to 4V upon RT minus X. So that should be equal to 2V upon RT. That is equal to 2V upon RT. In the case of B, for A, that is Na is equal to 2V upon RT plus X, that will become equal to 2B 4V upon RT. Now we need to find the concentration of Na and Nb. So concentration of B at equilibrium. So we know the concentration formula, that is the moles divided by volume. So the concentration should be equal to 2 upon RT, and the concentration of A become equal to the V upon 4V 4 upon RT. We just need to put the value in the expression of the equilibrium constant. The expression of equilibrium constant should be concentration of A to the power 8 upon concentration of B to the power 8. Now we just need to put the value. So concentration of A is 4 upon RT whole to the power 8, and concentration of 2 upon RT whole to the power 8. So Kc is equal to, that should be the 2 to the power 8. And in the question, what we have in the question, the value of Kc is equal to 2 to the power y. So we know that Kc is equal to 2 to the power y. From here we can say y is equal to 8. From here we can say y is equal to 8. Now we need to cross check the answer. Yes, definitely 8 is the right answer. This is the question number 23, but we just need to discuss the question number 24. So for the question number 24, the given equation, that is the NO3 minus plus AS2S3, it should be equal to the, it will give ASO43 minus plus NO plus SO4 2 minus. What is oxidation state here? Oxidation state of nitrogen is plus 5. In this case, oxidation state of AS is plus 3, sulfur is minus 2. In this case, oxidation state is plus 5, plus 2, and plus 6. So nitrogen gonna reduce. So how much change in oxidation state? That is a 2. How many nitrogen are present? 1. In this case, both arsenic and sulfur are gonna oxidize. So how much change we need to find? In this case, arsenic will go from +3 to +5. It means there is a change in 2 and there is a 2 arsenic present. For sulfur, there is a change in oxidation state is 8, and how many sulfur are present? That is a 3. So 8 into 3, the sum. So the net change in oxidation state, yeah, we can say net change in oxidation state, that is the 28. That should be 28. Actually, there is a +5 to +2. There is a net change of 3. So the total change, that is 3. We just need to cross multiply. So from here we can see 28, or that should be 3. So how many of nitrogen are present here? 28. To make it, so make it 28. And how many arsenic? That the arsenic, 3 2 just 6, that should be 6. How many sulfur? 3 3 just 9, that should be 9. Now we need to balance the charge. How much charge present in the reactant side? That is the -28. And how much charge in the product side? That is the 6 3 ja -80. And how many? 9 2 ja -18. So -18 -18 -36. We just need to balance the charge in both sides. So just add 8H plus. For hydrogen, we just need to add water molecule, that should be 4H2O. Now cross check the oxygen. If it is balanced, it means we are doing right. So number of oxygen, that is a 28, that is a 4. Yes, definitely these are right. 60, 84 and 490, and here 6 4s are 24 and 28, 9 4s are 36. Yes, definitely those are right, balanced. So now we just need to find the x and y. So what is x? X is equal to 28. And what is y? From here we just need to, y is that is z. Z is 4. So the ratio of x upon z, that is a 28 upon 4, that is 7. So answer should be 7. We just need to cross check. Yes, 7 is the right answer. Now here it is a question number 24. We now the last question of this exam, this paper. How many of the following ethers are difficult to make or cannot be synthesized as a major product by SN2 reaction? By SN2 reaction. So for Williamson synthesis, the RCl will react with RO minus and it will give RR dash, ROR dash. If this R is 3 degree or this R is aromatic ring, then in that case, if this is a 3 degree or R is a aromatic, in that case ether is difficult to synthesize, or in most of the case, the if R is a 3 degree, then in that case elimination product will be the major product. So from here we can see these two are difficult to synthesize. How? Let's check. In the first case, let's suppose I just taking Cl plus, that is another thing, that is O minus. So in chlorobenzene, nucleophilic substitution is difficult. Hence, it is difficult to prepare. Let's suppose I'm taking like this O minus, and this is a CS3, C, CS3, and CS3, and CS3. In that case, elimination product, because alkyl halide is 3 degree, as I already told you, elimination product will be the major. Hence, in the case of third, it is very difficult to prepare this ether. Let's discuss the case 4. So in this case, if I take this Cl and it will react with this O minus. You know, in aryl halide, nucleophilic substitution is difficult. So hence, in this case also, this ether will not form. So third and the fourth ether is difficult to prepare. Whereas in the case of first and second ether, we can get these ether via SN2 mechanism. So here answer should be 2. The last two ether cannot be prepared by SN2 or difficult to prepare via SN2 mechanism. Let's cross check the answer. Yes, definitely 2 is the right answer and the solution is given below. So here we're gonna end this paper, I think, and all the best you guys for your April attempt and best of luck. Thank you guys. Bye.
So good evening everybody. In this session we will be discussing the solution of the 15th full length test. Okay. So here the first question, they have asked to evaluate this summation. Okay, there is a pattern being followed. You are able to observe that. See, the first term is like 1 times 3 times 4, and the second term is like what? The reciprocal. The denominator is 2 times 4 times 5 and so on. Okay. So basically you will observe that this pattern is there. You can write it as this summation. Summation r is equal to 1 to, right, n as n approaches infinity. That's fine. Okay. It will be what? 1 upon r times r plus 2 times r plus 3. Okay. So you can rewrite the summation. See, since r plus 1 is not present in both numerator as well as denominator, you just multiply numerator and denominator by r plus 1. So you can write this as what? R plus 1 upon r times r plus 1 times r plus 2 times r plus 3, right? And you split it into two different summations, r upon this plus 1 upon, okay? So what you will be getting? It will be summation r equal to 1 to n 1 by, see, for the first addition term, it will be what? 1 upon r plus 1 into r plus 2 into r plus 3, okay? And what about the next summation? It will be 1 upon r times r plus 1 times r plus 2 times r plus 3, okay? See, somehow you should observe and establish some alternate plus minus cancellation. Other than that, there will be no idea to get the result, okay? So we will have to do that, okay? Yes. So in the first addition term, what I will inside the summation, the first addition term, what I will do is I will just split it like this. So let's say I'll split it like 1 by r plus 1 into r plus 2, right? Plus 1 by r plus 2 into r plus 3. So what will be the result of this? It will be, see, the denominator will be typically the same, right? And the numerator will be what? R plus 3 minus r minus 1, that will be 2, okay? So basically if you multiply this by half, the 2 in the numerator will be eradicated and this particular expression will be same as the expression which is there in the summation. Likewise, for this particular expression also, here you take it as 3 terms in one sum addition, okay? So what I will do is I'll just check if 1 by r times r plus 1 times r plus 2 plus 1 by r plus 1 times r plus 2 times r plus 3, right? I'll just check what I will be getting. So we'll be multiplying the first term by r plus 3 and the second term by r. So you'll be getting 3 in the numerator. So if I'm dividing by 3, I will get exactly the second addition term given inside the summation, okay? So this can be rewritten in this way, okay? So that alternate plus minus cancellation is established also, okay? I will just do it here itself. So the first addition term inside the summation, what I have done, I have written in this way, okay? Sorry, this is not, it's some subtraction over here, and here also it's a subtraction. Extremely sorry for that, okay? It's a subtraction in either case, okay? So when you take the LCM, it will be what? 2 in the numerator and denominator will be r plus 1 into r plus 2 into r plus 3, and there is half over here. So this will give the same result as this. Likewise, the second also. What will be the numerator? R plus 3 minus r, that will be 3, right? There is a 1 by 3 over here. That will be cancelled with that 3, and numerator will be 1, and denominator will be r into r plus 1 into r plus 2 into r plus 3, okay? So we are right now proceeding. After this, what we will do is r equal to 1 to n. This summation will be split into two summations. R plus 1 by r plus 1 into 1 by r plus 2, right? Minus 1 by r plus 2 into 1 by r plus 3, okay? This will be the value of the first term in the summation. What about the value of the second term in the summation? It will be, and there is a half over here, plus 1 by 3 over here, it is there, summation 1 by r into r plus 1 into r plus 2 minus 1 by r plus 1 into r plus 2 into r plus 3, okay? I'll just erase and replace it here itself, okay? Yes, it will be what? Summation r equal to 1 to n, or I will do it here. And it is 1 by r times r plus 1 times r plus 2 minus 1 by r plus 1 times r plus 2 times r plus 3. Okay. Yes. There is no summation here. Okay. Now, here also alternate plus minus cancellation will be there, right? Because the next term will be the negative of the previous term. So all the terms except the first term and the final term will get cancelled, and final term as n approaches infinity, you can ignore it. Okay. So the value of the first term will be what? The summation is basically half times 1 by 2 into 2 into 3, that is 1 by 6. Okay. That is basically 1 upon 12. Likewise, what about the value of the second summation? And there is a 1 by 3 as a coefficient over here. Here also, all the terms will get cancelled. First term and the last term will remain. Last term will approach infinity, you can ignore that. And the first term has value of 1 by 3 factorial, no? 1 by 6 into 1 by 3 will be what? 1 upon 18, right? So the final answer is what? 1 by 12 plus 1 by 18, okay? You have to add it. Yes, 1 upon 12 plus 1 18. That will be same as what? 5 by 36, okay? So that is the answer. That is option B, okay? So by mistake, I was saying as negative and I have entered here as positive. Okay, it should be negative. Okay, just make note of it. Yes, we will move to the next question. Yes, the value of this integral they are asking. Okay. So what you can do is you just apply whenever you see the symmetry over the limits, you just apply King's property. That is what? Writing replacing f of x as f of a plus b minus x. Okay. So I can say that I is same as what? Negative pi to pi integral negative 2x, because x will be negative, times 1 minus sin x, right, upon 1 plus cos square x, that will be unaltered. Okay. Yeah. So I'm adding these two, then what we will get? 2i will be integral minus pi to pi, right? See, here it is 2x plus 2x sin x. Here it is minus 2x into 2x sin x. Okay, it will be overall 4x sin x. Okay, upon 1 plus cos square x. Okay, that negative 2x and positive 2x will get cancelled. Okay, so it will be what? 2i will be this, right? And you can also observe some symmetry over here, right? Just check. F of minus x is same as fx, right? That means you can write it as 2 times integral 0 to pi. Okay, so that means what? 2i will be 2 times integral 0 to pi 4x sin x dx divided by 1 plus cos square x. Okay, cancel these two. You have the expression for I as this. Okay, I is equal to integral 0 to pi 4x sin x dx upon 1 plus cos square x, and now you can very well eliminate x also by again applying King's property. Okay, it will be what? So I can be also written in this way: integral 0 to pi 4, you can pull it out of the integration, no problem. It will be pi minus x times, what is sine of pi minus x? That is again sin x, okay? Because of symmetry in the graph, along the vertical x is equal to pi by 2, you will have symmetry. So it will be same as sin x. And again, cos of pi minus x is negative cos x, yet it's squared, okay? So that will also not bother us. It will be the same, okay? So again, add these two. What you will get as the expression for 2i, it will be that 4 will stay outside, right? And here, x sin x and minus x sin x will get cancelled, and pi sin x will alone remain. Okay, so 4 into integral pi sin x upon 1 plus cos square x, or pi also can be pulled out, right? 0 to pi. So this is the expression for 2i. So what will be I? It will be 2 pi into this integral, this particular integral. Okay, so I will do it here. I will continue here. Integral, and what about the upper limit? It is actually, it was pi, right? Yeah, my mistake. I wrote as well. It is pi. Okay. So when you put cos x equal to t, what will happen? In case I'm putting cos x is t, so it will change like this, no? Cos 0 is 1, and what about cos pi? It is negative 1, okay? And minus dt upon 1 plus t square, right? This is, and there is a 2 pi coefficient for this integral also, okay? And you can write it as what? You can just pull out that negative t and swap the limits, okay? So that it will be what? Integral minus 1 to 1 dt by 1 plus t square, right? So that will be 2 pi times what? Dt upon 1 plus t square. What is integral? It is tan inverse t. Okay. So tan inverse of the upper limit will be what? Pi by 4 minus the lower limit is minus pi by 4, right? Yeah. So the final answer will be what? 2 pi times pi by 2, that is pi square. Okay. That is answer C. Option C. Okay. So this question is based on derivatives actually. The third question, what they have given is a cubic polynomial on R which increases in some interval. Okay, these two intervals it increases and decreases in the interval 0, 1. Okay, so let's assume this cubic polynomial as ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. Okay, so what will be f dash of x? It will be 3ax square, right, plus 2bx plus c. Okay, this will be the value of f dash of x. Okay, now let's say the graph of this cubic polynomial will look like this. Okay, why? Because it has three roots, so obviously it has to cut the x-axis three times, and it's also known that minus infinity to 0 is increasing, so it should be like this, and between 0 to 1 it is decreasing, so it should be like this. Okay, and again from 1 to infinity it is again increasing. Okay, so this is how the graph should look like, and clearly one more thing also we'll observe is that the tangent, that is the slope of the tangent will vanish at these 2 points. Derivative of the function will be 0 at these 2 points. That is at 0 and 1. Okay, why? Because 0 is the place where the derivative actually changes the sign. Okay, till then it was increasing, and at that point it becomes decreasing, and again at 1 it was decreasing, and again it starts becoming increasing function. Okay, so yes, so this is how the graph will look like, right? And at 0 and 1 the derivative vanishes. Clearly you can say that f dash of 0, right, that is equal to 0, and f dash of 1 is also 0. Okay, f dash of 1 is also 0. Okay, so just put x is equal to 0 and see what will be the value of c. F dash of 0 will be 0, and RHS it is c. That means c should be 0. Okay, c will not exist, you just remove it completely. Okay, so there won't be any cx term. Okay, and this data we no more need. Okay, f dash of 0 equal to 0, so I will remove that also. And also it is known that f dash of 1 is 0. That means what? You will get instead of x, if you replace 1, what you will get? 3a plus 2b equal to 0. Okay, equal to 0 is what you will be getting. Okay, and one more thing is also given in the question, that f dash of 2 is 6. That means what? When you put x is equal to 2, right, you will get what? Basically 12a plus 4b, and that is known to be 6. Okay, so you just multiply this equation by 2 and subtract it from this equation. What you will be getting? 6a plus 4b is 0, 12a plus 4b is 6. That means 6a equal to 6 or a equal to what? 1. So correspondingly find b also, it will be minus 3 by 2. Okay, and c already we determined it as 0. What about d? Just use this condition that f2 is 2. That means what? This is how the polynomial is looking like, right? It is basically x cube minus 3 by 2 x minus 3 by 2 x square, right, plus d, right? And when you put a value of x as 2, what will be the LHS, I mean the value of the function? It will be 8 minus 6, that is 2 plus d. So 2 plus d is 2. That means what? D is 0. Okay, again d is also 0. Okay, so basically the function will be what? Fx will be x cube minus 3 by 2 x square. Okay, so you can write fx like this: x square into 3 by 2, x square into x minus 3 by 2. Okay, so clearly by looking at it, you can say that 3 by 2 will be a 0 and 0 will be a 0 of this polynomial function. Okay, so tan inverse of f3 by 2 is also tan inverse, same as tan inverse 0, that is 0, and tan inverse of f0 is also tan inverse 0, that is 0. Okay, so what will be tan inverse of f1? Value of the function at x is equal to 1. It will be 1 times negative half, that is minus 1 by 2, right? What is tan inverse of minus 1 by 2? That will be same as minus tan inverse 1 by 2, and that will be same as minus cot inverse 2. Okay, that is D option. Okay, yes. So we will move to the next question. They have used some other method, but the answer is same. So the fourth question, yeah. The minimum value of k for which the quadratic equation has both positive roots. Okay, in case it has positive roots, the condition is the first is discriminant greater than or equal to 0. This is a preliminary condition, and apart from that, you will observe that alpha plus beta is also positive, and alpha beta is also positive. Okay, so clearly from this you can say that what will be alpha beta? Cot inverse k whole 2 cot inverse k whole square upon cot inverse k, that will be 2 cot inverse k. Okay, so that should be, okay, that is cot inverse k is positive. Okay, and this should also, what is alpha plus beta? It will be tan inverse k whole power 3 by 2, right, divided by cot inverse k. Okay, This should also be positive. And that denominator is already positive, so numerator also has to be positive. That means tan inverse k should be positive. Okay. So these two conditions we have arrived at. Okay. And one more thing you have to check is b greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So what is the discriminant here? B square minus 4ac will be tan inverse k whole cubed. Okay, because 3 by 2 when squared becomes 3. Minus 4ac is what? 4 times cot inverse k times 2 cot inverse k whole square. That will be 8 cot inverse k whole cube. Okay. So you can also write it as 2 cot inverse k cube. Okay. Because 8 times cot inverse k cube is same as 2 cot inverse k whole cube. Okay. So that is basically tan inverse x whole cube minus 2 cot inverse k whole cube. This is what is the value of discriminant, and this should not be negative. Okay. Or you can clearly say that tan inverse k should be greater than or equal to 2 cot inverse k. Okay. That means what? You just put it as pi by 2 minus tan inverse k, right? It will be what? Pi minus 2 tan, pi minus 2 tan inverse k is the value at the right hand side. Okay. So finally, if you solve, you will get the value of tan inverse k to be greater than or equal to what? Pi by 3, right? Pi by 3. Okay. That means what? K can be root 3 or more than that. Okay. So k is greater than or equal to root 3. Okay. So what are all the integers above root 3 is like 1.7, and I'm not exactly aware of what it is, maybe like around 1.73. So this value should be greater than that, and they are asking the minimum value of k. Okay. So minimum value greater than 1.73 is what? 2. Okay, that is the answer. Okay. Yes. So we will move to the next question. So this question is from area under the curves. Okay. So they have given that area enclosed between curves y equal to x square and y equal to root of mod x. This mod x does not make any sense. They just wanted to mention that y is not taking any imaginary values or complex values. Okay, it's purely real. That is what they come to say. Okay, so you can transform this equation in this way if you square it on both sides. Y square equal to x, right? Both are one and the same. And the other is what? X is equal to, sorry, y equal to x square. Okay, here it is x equal to y square. So the graphs I will draw it here. So this will be mod x here. Okay, so this is how the curve will look like. Okay, what curve it is? Y square equal to x. This is not y square equal to mod x, it is y square equal to x. Okay. So what about y square equal to mod x curve? It will basically be what? The reflection of the, see, the thing is that x cannot be negative. Okay. So however, it's not negative over here also, no problem. Huh? So this question is from area under the curves. Okay, they have given that the area enclosed between two curves. One curve is this, and another curve is this. Okay, so let's keep this curve as it is, and we'll square this on both sides. Okay, it will be the same curve, but we'll transform the equation to something which will be helpful to us. Okay, so this is what is the curve. Okay, see, y square equal to mod x, and what is this curve? Y equal to x square. So let's first draw y equal to x square curve. It will look like this, right? It will look like this. And what about this curve y square equal to mod x? See, it also says that x also cannot be negative. Okay, even if x is negative, mod x will become positive, right? So the curve will look like this. Instead of going like here, it will go here. Okay. Hope you understood this. So here it will not exist. Why? Because see, clearly y square equal to mod x means y cannot be negative. For whatever value of x you take, y should be positive, right? Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Mod, because y, the reason is mod x is always greater than or equal to 0, so y cannot be negative. Whatever value of x you take, y should be positive. Okay, so in this quadrant it will not exist. Okay, so what happens is this particular region enclosed, due to symmetry they will be equal. Okay, they will be equal due to symmetry. Okay, so what you can do is see, you just find one particular enclosed area and multiply it with 2, then you are done. Okay, so what will be the area enclosed? See, and the point of intersection is clearly 1 comma 1. Okay, and it is minus 1 comma 1. Okay, these are the 2 points of intersection. Okay, so what we will do is Yes, integrate from 0 to 1 itself. We'll just multiply it with 2 and integrate it from 0 to 1. The upper curve minus lower curve. What is the upper curve? It is y square equal to x. You need not mention that mod x here. Okay. Rather, you just write as x, y because x is positive, right? And what about this curve? It is y equal to x square. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to integrate this particular function. Okay. Dx, right? And you have to multiply it with 2 because in both quadrants, due to symmetry, the area is equal. So you just find for one quadrant and multiply it with 2. Okay. So what you will be getting is 2 times x power 3 by 2 times 2 by 3, right? And lower limit will vanish, however, you need not worry, just put the upper limit alone. It will be instead of x, it will be 1. Okay. So 1 power 3 by 2 is what? It's again 1. So basically it is 4 by 3. Okay. For the first function, there is root x integration and putting the limit, it is 4 by 3. Minus this 2 should be multiplied here also. Minus 2 into. What about x cubed by 3? The upper limit will be 1 upon 3, right? So it will be another 1 by 3. Okay. Basically 4 by 3 minus 2 by 3 is what? 2 by 3. So that is the answer, final answer. Okay. Yes. We will move to the next question. See, sixth question is actually from probability because they have asked some probability. Okay. They are asking the probability that A wins. Let's read the question once. A is one among the 8 horses in a race. Okay. A is to be ridden by one of the 3 jockeys, P, Q, and R. If P rides A, horses are equally likely to win. Okay. That means it's a conditional probability. P of horses means obviously all horses are equally likely to win. So A is also equally likely to win. P of A wins given P rides. Okay. That will be what? Equally likely means it is distributed to 8 equal horses because 8 horses are, it will be 1 by 8, right? And P of A wins given Q rides, what it is? They have given that Q rides, the chances is doubled. That means it will be what? 2 by 8, right? And P of A wins given R rides, it is what? The chances are tripled. Okay, that means 3 upon 8, right? So this is given. And they are asking the probability that A wins. Okay. So whenever you say A wins such that P rides. Okay. A wins given P rides, or A wins provided Q rides, or A wins provided R rides. Okay. There is only 3 possibility. So what is the probability that A will win if P rides? It is actually the probability of P riding, right? Probability of P rides, right? Into probability of what? A wins given P rides. Okay. That is 1 by 8. Okay. So what about the probability that P writes 1, 2, or 3 appears, then P will write. Then what? 3 by 6 is the probability that P will write. Okay. So it is 1 by 2 into 1 by 8, right? Or what about the probability that A wins in such a way that Q writes and makes him win? So then it will be probability of Q into probability of A wins given Q writes. Okay. So what is the probability of Q? Only if you get 4 or 5, Q will write. That means 1 upon 3. Okay, 1 upon 3 into 2 by 8. Okay. And what about the probability that A wins when R writes? So you have to find the probability that R writes and multiply it with probability of A winning given R riding. Okay. It will be probability that R writes is 1 by 6. Okay. Because there is only one way. If 6 appears, R can write. Okay. So this is the total probability that A wins. Okay. So it will be basically 1 upon 16 plus 2 upon 16 plus 1 upon 16. That is 2 upon 16 plus 2 upon 16. Right? Am I right? I'll just check it. No, it's not correct. Wait. What is the addition of all these? 1 upon 16 plus 1 by 12, not 16. Okay. 1 by 12. So what will be the value? This will be 1 upon 8 plus 1 upon 12, right? Same as 1 upon 8 plus 1 upon 12. That will be same as what? 5 by 24. Okay. 5 by 24. Okay. So that is this answer C. Okay. Yes. So yes, this is what is the 7th question. It's based on integrals. Okay. and they have given something, and they have equated to something else and asking the value of alpha, beta, gamma, and combination of that. Okay, so what you can do is you just check, are there any ways in which if you put this as t, you will get derivative here. See, order of this particular function should be 5. Okay, I mean the power, highest power degree should be 5 for the outer function. Why? Because here the degree is, sorry, should be 3. It should be 3 actually, not 5, because here the power is what? Highest power, that is the degree is 4. So here it should be 3. Okay. So what I will do is I will just make this power as 6 and this as 5. I will transform it in such a way. I will just pull out x from this and multiply it inside the radical. So how will it be transformed? It will be integral x power 5 plus x cube plus x times root of, if you multiply x inside the radical, it will be multiplied as x square. No, it will be 2x power 6 plus 3x power 4 plus 6x square. Okay, dx. Correct? And if I am putting this particular expression as t, let's say we will put this as t, then what will be dt? Dt will be 12x power 5 plus 12x cubed plus 12x, right? This will be the value of dt. So this is actually dt upon 12. Am I right? Yeah, you just multiply and divide by 12. This will be dt. Okay, this into dx will become dt, and this will be root t. Okay, basically the integral will be transformed to 1 upon 12 times integral root t dt. Okay, and it will be what? 1 upon 12 times t root t, right? Or t power 3 by 2. Correct? So that is same as what? 1 by 18 into t power 3 by 2. That is given to be 1 by 18 into this particular function power 3 by 2. That means what? This particular function is same as our t. Okay. So that means what? Alpha is 2. Clearly alpha is 2, right? Beta will be 3 and gamma will be 6. Okay. So now you can find what they are asking. Beta plus gamma minus alpha. Okay, it will be 7 upon 4. That is 1.75. Okay. Yeah. We will move to the next question. It's an 8th question. Okay. So they have given some function in terms of mod and they are asking whether it's differentiable. If not, at what point are they not differentiable is the question. Okay. See, first, usually when we say a function is not differentiable, if it is not continuous, there is one possibility, or if it is having some sharp edges like this. For example, such functions, if you see here, another number of tangents can be drawn, right? 1, 2, right? There's one tangent, and 3. Many tangents can be drawn if it has sharp edges. Okay. Let's say like this. This is one tangent, and this is another tangent. This is the third tangent. So many tangents can be drawn. So it will not be differentiable. So that is the idea. It should not have sharp edges. Okay. So as far as mod x function is concerned, it has sharp edge. Okay, at x is equal to 0. Okay, I have seen. So at 0 we say that it's not differentiable because many number of tangents can be drawn. We cannot determine a particular tangent for this particular point. Okay. Yes, but you will observe that this term will not contribute to differentiability. Why? Because a1 mod x square is same as a1 x square. Square cannot be, however, negative, right? a2 mod x, you just rewrite this function like this. Okay, a3 will also not contribute to the differentiability. Okay, because whatever be value of a3, it will be differentiable. The function will be differentiable. Okay, the first term will be a0 mod x cubed. Okay, so these two functions we will not be bothering about because they will not affect the differentiability of the function. So we just say if a0 times mod x whole cube and a2 mod x, these two things alone, are they differentiable? Is this differentiable mod x cube? Actually it is, because the graph of mod x looks like this, right? Sorry, x cube looks like this, right? So what will be the graph of mod x cube? It will be the reflection along this axis. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Okay, and so clearly we can say that wait 1 minute. So clearly we can say, and this part, negative part will not be there. This is actually, see, I will highlight this mod x cube. Okay, what I have drawn here is x cube. This is actually graph of x cube, right? So mod x cube graph, I will just change the color and highlight it. Okay, so this is what is the graph of fx equal to mod x cube. Why? Because in positive direction, no change, but in negative direction, it will be the negative of that, no? So it will be the reflection along the negative x-axis, okay? The value of y. So clearly, no sharp edges are there for this function. Even at 0, many tangents can, cannot be drawn. Only one particular tangent can be drawn, okay? Clear? Because at every point, only one tangent can be drawn, right? There is no sharp edge. Yeah. Because of that, what happens? This becomes differentiable, okay? That becomes differentiable. Okay, so the only thing is that a2 should be 0. If a2 is 0, then this term will not exist and the term will be totally differentiable. Okay, so just check for that. Yeah, This is the correct answer, okay? Because other terms will be however differentiable, not a problem, okay? Yes. So yes, we'll move to the next question. They are asking the solution of this differential equation. That's what they are asking, okay? So we'll just rewrite this in this way, because see, even if you want to use it in this way, that dy by dx plus by equal to q using the integrating factor formula, you should know that it should be the RHS should be purely a function of x, okay? And here also it should be purely a function of x, okay? So what I will do is I'll just divide throughout by cos square y, okay? Here it will become secant square y in the numerator, right? Plus x times sin 2y by cos square y is what? 2 sin y cos y by cos square y, that is same as 2 sin y by cos y, that is 2 tan y, okay? That is equal to x cube. This is what you will be getting, okay? And let's say that we will write it in this way: 2x into 10y, okay? This is x cube, okay? Let's say 10y is some variable parameter. Let's say 10y is k, okay? If tan y is k, so what will be the value of dk by dx? It will be secant square y times dy by dx, right? So this is what? This is the value which exists over here. So this is basically dk by dx, and instead of tan y, you just replace it as k, okay? Because we have assumed it as k, okay? Right. So now you can very well use the formula. What it is? Integrating factor you have to find. That is what? E power integral p dx, right? So integral of 2x is what? X square. So it is e power x square. And what is the general solution? YIF equal to integral QIF dx, okay? So that means y, instead of y you have k here, okay? Because instead of dy by dx you have dk by dx, right? So e power x square into k equal to what? Integral dx, right? What is qi? It is x cube into e power x square, correct? Plus some constant, okay? This is how the integration has to be done. So to proceed with this integration, you can write it in this way: x into x square into e power x square dx, right? Plus c. So you just put x square as t. What will be dt? You just multiply and divide by half. The 2x dx will become dt. So the integral will be something like this, okay? Half will be here, and it will be e power t into e power t, right? Dt, integral t e power t dt, right? And you can very well use parts here. You can say that t is your u and e power t is your b, okay? What will be the formula using parts? T e power t, right? U integral v dx minus integral u dash this one. Integral v dx is again integral of e power t dt, that is same as e power t again, okay? So e power t into t minus 1 is the integral, and there is a half here, okay? There is a half here, okay? So instead of t, we just replace it again as x square. E power what? X square into x square minus 1. Okay, this is what is the integral. And the left hand side, it is what? E power x square into k. Okay, and there was half over here, right? We just multiplied and divided by 2 to make 2x dx as dt, right? This half is also there, okay? So what you can do is you can divide this expression throughout by e power x square. Okay, so what you will be getting? K, that is what? K is same as tan y, that is equal to x square minus 1 divided by 2 plus c e power minus x square, right, divided by 2. Okay, using this condition, you can say that when when value of x is 0, y should be pi by 4. That means what? Tan pi by 4 should be 1, okay? Tan y should be 1, okay? So 1 plus 1 by 2, that is 3 by 2 equal to c by 2. That means what? C is equal to 3. Okay, clearly c is 3. Just replace it here. Instead of c, just write it as 3. So this is what is the particular solution of this differential equation. 10y equal to x square minus 1 plus 3 e power minus x square whole divided by 2. Okay, so that is 3. Okay, third answer. Yes. So yes, the 10th question, it is actually from statistics. Okay, they have given 10 data. Okay, and they have given that the sum of all these 10 data happens to be 50. Right. Parallelly, you determine what is the mean. simultaneously side by side you have to do, right? Mean of these 10 data will be 5, because mean is what? Sum of all the entries divided by total number of entries, right? That will be however 10. Okay, and now what they have given is sigma of xi xj. Okay, that is taken two at a time. You will understand what it is. Okay, when it is applied you will know what it is. Okay, and they are asking the standard deviation of these 10 data. What is standard deviation? It is basically root of the variance, right? What is variance? Expectation of x square minus expectation of x ka whole square, right? This is what is variance. If you take the square root, positive square root, that becomes the standard deviation. Okay, so expectation of x is nothing but your mean, right? It's basically sigma x upon n, that will be 5. Okay, so it is basically expectation of x square minus 5 square, that is what? 25. Okay, this is what is the answer. So all you have to do now is to find what is expectation of x square. Okay, that is our task. Okay, and just look at this particular expression. Let's take x1 plus x2 plus x3 and so on up to x10. Okay, let's take this. What I will do, this is what is 50, right? This is 50, right? I will square it on both sides. Square will be about 2500. And what is this 2500 basically? X1 plus x2 plus x3, right? And so on up to x10 times the same, the number being multiplied by itself, right? So this is what is 2500. Okay, see clearly the multiplication will have 100 terms, right? You can just use the basic idea of a fundamental principle of counting. You will end up with 100 terms in the multiplication. After the multiplication you will have 100 terms, but the thing is, see, the multiplication of all these like terms, that is x1 into x1, x2 into x2, right, x3 into x3 and so on, right, up to x10 into x10, these will give the what? The particular square terms, right? That will be what? Basically 2500 will be what? It will be equal to xi square. Okay, sigma xi square as I equal to 1 to 10. So among that 100 terms in the product, right, x1 being multiplied, this x1 being multiplied with x1, x2 being multiplied with x2, right, up to x10 being multiplied with x10, you will get what? X1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square up to x10 square you will have. Okay, up to this it is done. Okay, so basically that is what I'm writing. And what are the other terms? 90 more terms will be there. No, when like terms are getting combined, this expression is formed. What are the other 90 terms is my question. So for that only they have to see. It is basically when like terms are multiplied, it will be basically I equal to j. That is the condition. When x1 is being multiplied with x2 in the next value, right? Product value, right? Similarly, x3 being multiplied with some other x4 or x5, whatever it is. All these will give I and j values different. That is what is the condition they have given. Xi, xj is 1100, such that j is greater than I. Okay. So basically, and one more thing is, for every xi, xj, there will be a corresponding xj, xi also. Okay. There will be a corresponding xj, xi. Okay. So because of which what happens is, this expansion will be sigma xi, xj, right? Because the condition is given that what? J greater than I. What if j is less than I? There is also a possibility, because in this product term, when these 10 terms are multiplied with the same 10 terms, that is being squared, we'll have 100 terms, right? In that, x1, x2 is also a term, and x2, x1 will also be another term, right? So it's not necessarily that always j will be greater than I. So for the other case, that is I being greater than j, we have considered this xji also, okay? Xj, xi, okay? So this is what is the multiplication of that 10 terms by itself. Okay, so this is what you will be getting. Combining all the like terms, you will get all these square terms sum, and unlike terms, if you combine, it will be sigma xi xj plus sigma xj xi. Okay, and xj xi is also same as xj xj. Value will not be changing. This is 1100 and this is 1100. If you still don't understand, you take some 5 random terms, and whenever you have any free time, you can just expand it and know how this works. Okay, you should have a little bit visualization of that particular expansion. Okay, for solving these type of questions. Okay, so this will be 1100 and this will be another 1100, right? So what will be sigma xi square? It will be 300. Okay, sigma xi square will be 300, and this is not what we need. We want expectation of x square. That is what sigma x square upon n, number of terms, right? So what is the number of terms here? 10 terms. So 30 will be the value of expectation of x square. So instead of e of x square, you just replace it as 30. It will be root of 30 minus 25. That is root 5. Root 5. Okay, that is option C. Okay. Little bit difficult question. You should have understanding of how multiplication works. Okay, in this particular case, multiplication of these 10 terms with itself, what happens? That you should be knowing. Okay. So yes, and 11th question is actually an infinite series, okay, and product terms are there. Just write a general expression, okay. It's actually in product, so I'm using pi. Sigma is used for sum and pi is used for product usually, okay. R is equal to 2 to n as n approaches infinity. It is what? N cube minus 1 upon n, r cube minus 1 upon r cube plus 1, right? You just factorize it, r minus 1 into r square plus r plus 1, the numerator will be like that. And denominator will be what? R plus 1 into, and denominator will be r plus 1 into, it will be r square minus r plus 1. What I will do is I will write it in this way. I will have to complete the square and write. I will write it as r minus 1 whole square, right, plus r, okay. And still I will not leave it. I will again, because I am observing some form in the numerator, in that form I will write, right. So I will add and subtract 1 again, minus 1 plus 1, okay. So it's basically two product ratios in summation. You just split it, okay. One will be if r equal to 1 to n, r minus 1 upon r plus 1, and another is what? R is equal to, sorry, 2 to n, not from 1 to n. The first one is 2 cubes, okay. It will be r square plus r plus 1 upon r minus 1 square plus r minus 1, okay, plus 1. Clear? And now how will you evaluate this particular expression? It is basically like, let's say r equal to 2, it starts, no, it will be 1, it will be 1 into 2 into 3 and so on up to n minus 1, okay. And the denominator will start from what? Value 3, 3 into 4 into 5 and so on up to n plus 1, okay. All you have to do is multiply and divide by 2 on numerator and denominator, okay. So here additionally I will multiply and divide by 1 into 2. Denominator will be what? So numerator will be n minus 1 factorial into 2. Denominator will be n plus 1 factorial. So we can write this as 2 upon n into n plus 1, right? 2 upon n into n plus 1. So this is that is the value of this particular first expression. I'll just replace it, okay, as 2 upon n into n plus 1, okay. Yeah. And how will you evaluate this particular expression? When r is 2, it will be 2 square plus 2 plus 1 upon 1 square plus 1 plus 1. When r is 3, it will be what? 3 square plus 3 plus 1 upon 2 square plus 2 plus 1, right? So again, it will be a cancellation between the denominator and the numerator, okay? That is the numerator of the next term will get cancelled with what? Sorry. The numerator of this term will get cancelled with the denominator of the next term, okay? And so on it goes, okay? So what will be left out is, see, this will get cancelled with the denominator of the next term, right? Because I will just say y, r square plus r plus 1 upon r minus 1 square plus r minus 1 plus 1, right? So this is basically this particular expression. As r is equal to 2 to infinity, it will be 2 square plus 2 plus 1 upon 1 square plus 1 plus 1 into r is equal to 3, it will be 3 square plus 3 plus 1 upon 1 less than that, 2 square plus 2 plus 1 into 4 square plus 4 plus 1 upon 3 square plus 3 plus 1 and so on. What will be the last term? It will be, because r runs from 2 to n, right? When r is n, it will be n square plus n plus 1 upon denominator will be n minus 1 square plus n minus 1 plus 1, okay. Lot of terms will be there, infinite number of terms will be here, okay. Only thing you will observe is that all these will get cancelled, okay, and so on. Like that, the last denominator will also get cancelled with the previous numerator, right? So everything will get cancelled. Many terms are there between these two, because I'm just writing the last term, okay. All the terms I have skipped because everything will get cancelled, however, okay. What will survive is the last term, the numerator of the last term and the denominator of the first term. What is the denominator of the first term? It is 3 actually, okay. So it will be, answer will be what? N square plus n plus 1 upon 3. This particular expression will be n square plus n plus 1 upon 3, okay. So I'll just replace it as n square plus n plus 1 upon 3. And as n, you just pull out n from the numerator, it will be n into n plus 1 plus 1 by n, right? You can write this as n into n plus 1 plus 1 by n, okay. N plus 1 by n, cancel these two n values, okay. And as n approaches infinity, 1 by n will however approach 0, okay. You can just ignore it and cancel this n plus 1 with this n plus 1, because 1 by n is very minimal, like it's approaching 0, okay. So final answer will be what? 2 upon 3, okay. That is option D, okay. Yes. So you should not manipulate product series also, okay. Not just summation, you should also know how to evaluate these type of product series. You are ending up with 0 as the result, right? So that means what? It's clearly many to one, it's not 1 to 1, okay. Because for all negative values, the result is 0. That is 0 is being mapped with many pre-image elements, okay. So it's definitely not 1 1, okay. And you just check the condition for on to. Just think of values with which you can say that it's not an onto function. You approach in that way, okay? We will think of such values, okay? Because in the denominator I am able to observe this, that it is of the form of a number plus its reciprocal. What I will do is, I will just say, in case if f of x equal to 1, is this a possibility? In case because it's an R to R function, even if one particular element is not mapped, then it is purely what? It's not an onto function, because the codomain, entire codomain should be in the range. Then only it is an onto function, right? Yes. So is this possible by any chance? E power mod x plus e power. Then, in case that happens to be possible, then what is the consequence? Numerator must be equal to the denominator, right? So e power mod x minus e power minus x is equal to e power x plus e power minus x. Okay. Let's take some positive value, or whatever value you take, no problem. E power x is going to be positive even if x is negative. And similarly, e power minus x will also remain positive, right? And this is of the form of a number plus its reciprocal, and it should be always greater than equal to 2. Okay. But in case I'm taking the value of x to be 1, so what we will be getting, or rather minus 1, let's say. In case I am taking x to be minus 1, okay. So this will be what? E minus e power minus of minus 1, that is again 1, right? That will become 0, and that is not greater than equal to 2, okay. So clearly you can say that it's even not onto, because this value 1, it does not belong to the range, okay. It just exists in the codomain, okay. So it's definitely not onto also, okay. So you have to neither 1 1 nor onto, okay. Yes, we will move to the next question. So in this question, they have given this matrix B, okay. They have given this matrix B, and they have given alpha as a real number, okay. And they have given one more condition also, okay. And this is satisfying this particular equation. That means what? We just write P explicitly in terms of Q, or Q in terms of P. So what you will be getting, just pre-multiply by P inverse. You will be getting Q equal to K into P inverse I, right? Constants can be pulled out, no problem. Only matrix multiplication is not commutative. Multiplication of a matrix with a constant, it is commutative. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, and P inverse I is same as what? It is just P inverse. Okay, so Q is P inverse, or Q you can write it as this. No, P inverse can be written as adjoint P upon determinant P, right? Right. This is what is the value of Q matrix. Okay, in terms of the given matrix. Okay, and they have given that the Q23 is minus K by 8. Okay, and determinant of Q is also K square by 2. These two things are already given in the question. Okay, so what to do is you just determine what is a Q matrix. This is what is the matrix we'll be getting as the Q matrix. Okay, and this is the value of this determinant 12 alpha plus 20. It should be multiplication over here. Okay, K upon determinant times adjoint. No, it will be this. Okay, and it's known that the second row third column element is minus K by 8. That means what? K times minus 3 alpha minus 4 upon, wait, yeah, this is what is upon 12 alpha plus 20. This is known to be what? Minus K upon 8, okay. So cancel these two, and you pull out that negative sign also, and cross multiply. You will get 12 alpha plus 20 is equal to what? 24 alpha plus 32, correct? So we'll get alpha equal to minus 1 from this, okay. Alpha will be minus 1, and just after you got the value of alpha, you use it here, okay. You can replace this Q matrix like this. It will be basically K upon 8 times these 9 elements will be there, okay. And they have also given that the determinant value of Q is what? K square by 2 in the question, okay. So you just actually have to equate that, okay. What will be according to the given data? It is K square by 2, and if we find what we will be getting, it will be, there is a K by 8 constant here, right? That will be becoming what? K cube upon 8 cube, because the 3 cube matrix, I mean 3 cross 3 matrix, right? Because K will be multiplied with all the K by 8 will be multiplied with all the rows. You pull out K by 8 from each row, it will be K by 8 power 1, okay. If you pull out K by 8 from all the 3 rows, it will be K by 8 the whole cubed, okay, into the determinant of that matrix, okay. So basically what I would property use is determinant of n. A is same as n cube into determinant of A if A is a 3 cross 3 matrix, okay. Whatever is the order, that will be the power here, okay. Simple. Times some value, okay. It is what basically we will be ending up with minus 120 plus 160 plus 24, okay. This is what we will be getting, and by simplification you will get the value of K to be 4, okay. So yeah, that is the answer. And what about the question? What were they asking in the question? Yeah, the value of alpha square plus K square. So it is basically 4 square plus minus 1 square, that is 1, okay. That is 17, okay, yeah. It's little complicated in terms of calculations, but conceptually it is approachable only. Yeah, this is the 14th question. Okay, they have given S1 is something and S2 is something, and they are asking S1 union S2. Okay, first, actually, by looking at S2, it looks pretty simple to solve. Okay, just put 3 power x as t and solve it as a quadratic. Okay, so what will the quadratic be? T square minus 3t, right? Minus what? Because this can be written in this way, right? Minus 3t, and this can be written as minus 9t because it is 3 power 2 into 3 power x, right? 3 power x plus 2. Yeah, basically it is minus 12t. Okay, and I have plus 27 is less than equal to 0. Okay, so how will you factorize this? The product should be 27 and the sum should be 12. Okay, so you can write as minus 9 times minus 3. 3 square minus 90 minus 3t plus 27 is less than equal to 0. T into t minus 9 minus 3 into t minus 9 is less than equal to 0. T minus 3 times t minus 9 is less than equal to 0. Okay, so clearly the root will lie between, the value of t will lie between the roots. Okay, there is the place where it is less than equal to 0. Okay, so t belongs to what? 3 comma 9. That means 3 power x belongs to 3 comma 9. Okay, that is 3 power x belongs to 3 power 1 to 3 power 2. That means x belongs to 1 comma 2. Okay, so for this particular S2 it is 1 comma 2. Okay, and it's in included brackets. Okay, that means the endpoints are included. So only one option will suit my particular solution of S2. Okay, so this is what is the answer. We need not even calculate what is S1. Okay, because no other options are there which will be matching with the values we have determined for what value x varies for this particular S2 set. Okay, so it is option B alone. Okay, yes, this question is from complex number. They have given mod z is 1 and this is also 1. Now what you do is you just transform this mod z to the other side. You will get something like mod of z times z minus root 2 minus root 2 I is equal to mod z. Okay, correct. So that means what? This is centered. This particular, in case you draw it as circle in argon plane, this will be centered at the origin, right? This particular mod z. And what about this? This will be centered at root 2 comma root 2. Okay, so two particular circles will be there. One will be centered at the origin, another will be centered at root 2 comma root 2. And this condition is also very important. Okay, because the radius of the circle is restricted to 1 unit. Okay, that means this is actually 1 unit, and the center of the other, this is 0 comma 0 being the center of this particular modulus, and the other modulus has centered center at root 2 comma root 2. Okay, there is another circle. Okay, and clearly one thing, okay, I can say is this particular point has x and y coordinate equal. So clearly it's a part of y equal to x line, right? Yes. So, and one more thing I observe is the radius is same, right, for both the circles, 1 and 1 unit, correct? It will be same. And basically what we can say is the point of it will actually, by observation we can say it will externally intersect at one point, right? That will be the complex number which satisfies these equations. Okay, the point where it intersects, there is only one complex number. In case the circle happens to intersect at 2 points, then 2 such complex numbers will be there, but here it intersects only at 1 point. Okay, why at 1 point? Because sum of these two lengths, if you observe, it is actually same as this total length. Okay, so it has to be an external touching only. Okay, so why? Because see, total length is 2 units from this to this point. Okay, 0 to 0 comma 0 to root 2 comma root 2, and radius of the circle is what? 1 unit, right? So sum of radius should be 2, right? So it is an external touching. So what about this value? The point where it intersects, it will basically be the midpoint of 0 comma 0 and root 2 comma root 2. Okay, just add and divide it by 2. It will be root 2 by 2 comma root 2 by 2, that is 1 by root 2 comma 1 by root 2. Okay, this is what is the point at which they intersect, and in argon plane it is what? 1 by root 2 plus I by root 2. Okay, 1 plus I by root 2. This is what is the complex number, and there is option C. Okay, yes. So yeah, we'll move to the next question. The 16th question, it happens to be pretty tricky. Okay, because it's from vectors and 3D. Okay, I have given one vector A. Okay, I equal 1 2 3 be a vector, makes it makes equal angle with the coordinate axis ox, oy, and oz. You just underline this. That means what? I mean alpha, beta, gamma are equal, or the direction cosines are equal. Okay, cos alpha plus cos beta plus cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma. You all know it is always 1. And from the given data, you can say that all these are equal. That means each has to be 1 upon root 3. Okay, 1 upon root 3. And how will this A vector look like then? In case this is how the direction cosines are, A vector will be some lambda times 1 upon root 3 I cap plus 1 upon root 3 j cap plus 1 upon root 3 k cap. Okay, you just pull out this 1 upon root 3 value. What you will be getting? Go to the next slide. It will be actually lambda upon root 3 times I plus j plus k, right? And also given that the projection on B, some vector, okay, they have given some vector, right? Just see. Projection of A on this vector is 7, 3i plus 4j. That means what? A dot that vector, what is the vector? 3i plus 4j upon modulus of this vector, that is what, root of 3 square plus 4 square 5, that is what, 7. Okay, so that means A dot this vector is 35, correct? So what is A? Lambda by root 3 into I plus j plus k dot 3i plus 4j equal to 35. Okay, this is what you will be getting. And 3 plus 4 is what, 7, right? So 7 lambda by root 3 is 35. So lambda will be 5 root 3. Okay, lambda will be 5 root 3. Lambda will be 5 root 3. So once lambda is known, you determine what is A also. A vector will be what? 5 into I cap plus j cap plus k cap. Okay, 5 into, okay, this is what is the A vector. Okay, they have also determined it. Okay, and now what you have to do is, because it's given that it is some more condition was given, right? There is another vector B obtained by rotating A 90 degree. That means clearly A dot B should be what? 0. This is one condition. And A, B and X axis are coplanar. Okay, and condition for coplanarity is what? Linearly independent, right? That means this B vector can be written as some constant times A vector from another and plus another constant times the other vector. What is the other vector? It is actually the x-axis. Okay, so equation of x-axis will be I. Okay, so this you must be aware of for solving this question. Okay, so that is how we write this B. Rewrite this B vector as what? Some k times. That is, let's call it some k into phi I plus phi j plus phi k, right? Plus some, or I'll call it k1 and plus k2 into I. Okay, let's say this is what is the value of this B vector. Okay, and you can also pull out this 5, no problem. Okay, B vector will be 5k1 into I plus j plus k, right? Plus k2 into I, right? Okay, in this way you can determine this vector. And yeah, so you can write B vector in this way. Okay, so how can you rewrite this in a better way? So you just write it like this. B vector is 5 k1 plus k2, right, into I plus 5k1j plus 5k1k. Okay, in this way you can write this B vector. And condition is that what? A dot B should be 0. Okay, so you just take the dot product. In case you equate it to 0, what you will be getting is some expression. And you also know that this value, that mod B is same as mod A. Why? Because mod B is formed a rotation of this vector A, right? So the amplitude will not change, it will remain the same. Okay, only the direction will change. Okay, so using this you will get one more expression, and if you solve you will clearly get the vector B also. Okay, vector B will also be determined easily once these two things are done. Okay, so what is B vector? It is plus or minus, because the alpha value happens to be plus or minus 1 upon root 2, we'll just use it like the same it is. Okay, so B vector will be plus or minus 5 upon root 2 into minus 2i plus j plus k. Okay, projection of A on this vector will be what? Again, projection of any vector on another vector is what? A on B is A dot B by modulus B. So similarly, you have to calculate this dot product and divide it by the modulus value, okay, of the second vector. Right. So the answer will be plus or minus root 2. Okay, let's check it. Yes, right. I have given root 2 in the option, so just mark that. Okay. See, some idea you have to be clear is you should not interpret this in terms of direction cosines. Okay, and mostly projection and all you will understand it easily. And in case they have given that B is obtained by rotating A with 90 degree, that means what? Mod A equal to mod B. Okay, this will be true, and A dot B will be what? 0. Okay, these two things you have to take care. And A comma B and X axis are coplanar. That means what? B vector can be written as some constant times A vector plus constant times the x-axis vector, that is what I cap. Okay, in this way you should know to write. And then they are finally asking me, if you use all these things, you will determine the expression for b vector, and you have to find the projection of this b vector on another vector which they have given 3i plus 4j. Okay, so yes, that it is. So 17th question, they have given some large data. Okay, 3 identical jewelry boxes has 2 drawers. Okay, in each drawer of the first box there is gold watch. Okay, so basically 3 boxes are there. Let's call it B1, B2 and B3. Okay, and each box has 2 drawers. Okay, second box will also have 2 drawers, and the third box also has 2 drawers. Okay, and see, in one drawer of the third box there is gold watch. Okay, first from the first one. Okay, in each drawer of the first box there is a gold watch. Okay, so in the first, both are gold. Okay, both drawers have only gold watches, and in the second box it is like watch, there is a silver watch. Okay, that means both, it's given that in each drawer of the second box there is silver. Okay, that means both are silver in the second box, and in the third it is what, it is like one gold and the other is silver. Okay, GS. Okay, this is how it is. What they are asking is the probability of selecting any drawer after selecting a box is of. Okay, that means it's equally likely. Okay, if we select a box at random, okay, open one of the drawers and find it that it contains silver, then what is the probability that the other drawer has gold in it? That is the question. Basically what they are asking, what they are trying to give is other drawer has gold, given one has silver, means it is not possible from B1 or B2. What they are asking is basically the gold from this box B3. Okay, so what about the numerator? First I will determine what is the denominator in this probability. Required probability, will call it P. Okay, so what will be the denominator? It is for the given data, right? What is the probability of a silver box? It can be from the first, it is 1 by 3 into all these 3 boxes are equally likely, 1 by 3 times. And what is the probability of silver? That is 0. And the second box is what? 1 by 3 times, both are silver, 1 plus 1 by 3 times half, right? This is what is the denominator. Selecting the first as silver. Okay, and what about the probability of gold given the first being silver? It is basically from this box. It will be 1 by 3 into 1 by 2, correct? 1 by 3 into 1 by 2. Okay, so the final answer will be what? Finally, it will be just cancel 1 by, because 1 by 3 is the chance of this box B3, and then from that gold is half. Okay, so just cancel 1 by 3, it will be 1 by 2 upon 1 plus 1 by 2, that is what? 3 by 2, correct? 1 by 2 upon 3 by 2, that will be 1 by 3. Okay, so that is the answer. That is option A. Okay, 1 by 3 will be the answer. Yes. See, the data is complicated, but the question happens to be simple. Yes. So 18th question, they have given there is a point which lies on this curve. Okay, and the midpoint of the line segment between the coordinate axis. Okay, so there is a point on alpha comma 7 root 3 comma 3. Okay, and it lies on what curve? This particular curve. What you can do is you just write this. Actually, it denotes an equation of its right line based on variation of theta. The slope will vary, that it is. Okay, so you just write the slope intercept form of this line. It will be what? X upon 7 by cos theta plus y upon 7 by sin theta equal to 1. Okay, so this is the x intercept and this is the y intercept. Okay, so how will the graph look like? It will look like this. 7 by cos theta and 7 by sin theta. Okay, and what about the midpoint? Because they are asking the midpoint of the curve traced by, this particular curve, we have to first determine the midpoint. Okay, and determine there will be a curve traced by this midpoint, right? That we have to determine. Okay, first what will be the midpoint? We just apply the arithmetic mean formula. It will be 7 by 2 sin theta and what will be the x coordinate of the midpoint? 7 by 2 cos theta. Okay, basically here x coordinate is 0, here it is 7 upon cos theta. Midpoint will be 7 upon 2 cos theta. Here it will be 7 upon 2 sin theta. Okay, that will be the midpoint. Okay, that will be the midpoint value. And one more thing you will observe is we just determine this, and they are giving that this lies on this particular midpoint curve. There will be a curve traced on, collecting all the midpoints as per the variation of theta, right? And it's known that alpha comma 7 root 3 comma 3 lies in this particular midpoint. The curve tracing all the midpoints. Okay, so that means see, let's take this as the parameter of that curve. Okay, parametric form of that particular curve. Okay, any coordinate can be denoted in this form: 7 upon 2 cos theta comma 7 upon 2 sin theta. Okay, so you already know what is the y coordinate. You have to determine the x coordinate. That it is. Okay, so 7 upon 2 cos theta is what? Sorry, 2 sin theta, because y coordinate is only given. 7 upon 2 sin theta is 7 root 3 by 3. Okay, just cancel these two. What will be the value of, you just write it as 1 upon root 3. Okay, so 2 cos theta is root 3. Cos theta is root 3 by 2. So what will be the value of theta? In case cos theta is root 3 by 2, what will be the value of theta? It will be 30 degree, okay, or pi by 6. Okay, so using this value of theta, that is pi by 6, you will determine what is x coordinate also simply. Okay, 7 upon 2. No, I am extremely sorry for this. Actually, I mean, only the y coordinate is known, no? That means, okay, 7 upon, what is the y coordinate? It is 7 upon 2 sine theta, okay? That is known to be 7 by root 3 or 7 root 3 by 3, whatever it is, okay? So clearly cancel these to 7. By mistake, I have already cancelled it. Okay, cancel these to 7. What will be the expression for sine theta? Sine theta will be root 3 by 2, or theta will be what? Pi by 3, okay? In case theta happens to be pi by 3, you can parallelly determine what is the x coordinate also. 7 upon alpha, that is basically alpha, okay? 7 upon 2 cos pi by 3, no? It will be 7 by 2 into cos pi by 3 is what? It is half, okay? So basically the value of alpha is what? 7, okay? Simple question. See, actually I will just sum it up simply. You first determine based on the given equation, you write it in slope intercept form and determine the midpoint of this line, okay, between the, the line being formed from this intercept to this intercept. What will be the midpoint? It will be the arithmetic mean of the coordinates, no? It will be 7 upon 2 cos theta, 7 upon 2 sin theta, and this is already known to be what? Y coordinate is already given to be 7 root 3, 3, okay, because you can take this particular expression, this is 7 upon 2 cos theta, 7 upon 2 sin theta, as the parametric form of this particular curve. There is a curve, right, which is being traced by the midpoints of the line segment. Yeah. So you just equate this 7 upon 2 sin theta to 7 root 3 upon 3. Find theta and find alpha also. Consequently, you will get the value of alpha to be 7. Okay. So 19th question, yeah, actually it is from binomial theorem. Okay. See, a lot of things there to think in this particular question. Okay, 8 root 3 plus 13, right? Whole power 13, and y is another expression. Okay, what they're asking is greatest integer of x plus y is even. Whether it's correct or not, all these things you have to validate. Okay, first what I will do is see 8 root 3, the value of 8 root 3 lies roughly between 13 and 14, right? It will be like 13.8 and so on. Okay, the value will be a little bit what I checked is like something around 13.84 or something. Okay, and likewise, what will be the value of 7 root 2? Approximate value at least 7 times 1.4, right? It'll be like 9.87. Okay, 9.87. 7 root 2 value and 8 root 3 values are these. Okay, so what I will do is I will consequently define one more called as 8 root 3 minus 13 the whole power 13. Okay, so when I add these two, right, what I will be getting is a number. I mean, all the even terms will get cancelled. Okay, even terms are the ones which are irrational also. All these will get cancelled. You will get only the odd terms and purely rational terms. Okay, and that will be all. You will get 2 times the sum of all odd terms, right? That will be 2 times some integer. So basically 8 root 3 plus 13 the whole power 13, right, plus 8 root 3 minus 13 the whole power 13 is what? Is basically an even integer. Okay, and what will be this value? To be like 0.84 the whole power 13. It's like fractional. Okay, 0.84 the whole power 13 will be the expression here. Like it is purely fractional, and the value will be definitely less than half only, because when you multiply 13 times 0.84, it will become lesser and lesser, and definitely it will be less than half. Okay, so let's call this as f1. Okay, and likewise here also there is one integral part and one fractional part. Okay, and this is being cubed. Okay, not cube, power 13, no. So in the actually what I'm trying to say is, when you determine the value of 8 root 3 plus 13 whole power 13, it will be one integer plus one fraction. Okay, it will not be a pure integer. We'll have one fraction being left out. Here also it will not have an integral part, to be purely fractional. Okay, and the sum happens to be an even integer. Okay, if one integer plus 2 fraction, it is an even integer. That means the sum of these 2 fractions must also be integer. So where it can vary, can 2 fractions be giving value more than 2? It is not possible. It can either be 1 or 2. It can definitely not be 0. Why? Because one should be the negative of other, or both must be 0. If both are 0, they don't exist, right? And negative fractions are also not possible because we have taken positive fractions. Okay, it can be either 1 or 2. In case they happen to be 2, that means one is exceeding 1 and the other is less than 1, or both are 1. In both the cases, these these will not be fractions. So f1 plus f2 has to be 1. Only way is f1 plus f2 being 1. Okay, even it cannot be 2. Why? Because I told no. If it is 2, one will be exceeding 1, the other will be less than 1. If it is exceeding 1, how come it is called as a fraction? Right? And if both are 1 also, they will be purely integers, they will not be fractions. Okay, that means f2 plus f1 should be 1. Okay, there is no other possibility. That means what will the sum be? I plus f2 plus f1 will be, this is an even integer, right? That means what? I will be odd integer. Okay, I will be odd. Okay, this is clear, right? This should be clear. So what we want in the question is the integral part of this alone. Okay, what will be the integral part of this? It will be same as I only. Okay, integral part of this particular value will be same as I. Okay, and what is I? It will be, in case this is an even integer, correct? That is an even integer. Okay, the sum is an even integer, that is also very clear. But what we want is only the integral part of this. Okay, integral part of this particular fraction. And just now I told f1 plus f2 should be 1. That means f2 should be less than 1. That is also clear, right? So see, this is also a fraction, right? This is a fraction, and this is also, when you subtract an even integer with one fraction, it will be the previous odd integer, right? So that is what I plus f2, and if you take the integral part, I will clearly be an odd integer. Okay, so what will be the integral part of I plus f2? It is basically even integer minus some fraction, the integral part of that. No, hope this is clear. So I will clearly be what? Even integer minus f1, then the integral part of that will give value as odd. Okay, so basically this is odd. Okay, this particular value is odd. Okay, and what about this 7 root 2 plus 9 whole power 9? Hope you understood this, because see, let's call 8 root 3 plus 13 the whole power 13 as I plus f1. Okay, sorry, I plus f2. Okay, just some fraction and some integer, and the second is purely fractional, it will not have any integer. And also the sum is an even integer. Why? Because it is a multiple of 2. Why? Because it is 2 times sum of all the odd terms, right? All odd terms are rational, and actually they are integers. Okay, see, in this expansion, this root 3 will not be surviving. All the irrational parts will get cancelled when you add these two, plus and minus. Okay, only the odd terms will exist, and it will be 2 times the sum of all odd terms, right? So it's actually 2 times an integer, so it is an even number. Okay, that means the sum of these two is an even number. This is purely a fraction. Okay, if you subtract the fraction, it will be what? Some odd number plus some fraction, right? And again, if you take the greatest integer of that, it will be what? We'll be getting an odd number. Okay, so it's very clear that this is an odd number. Likewise, you have to show that this is also an odd number. Okay, the same way you use to show that it's also an odd number. It's a very tricky question actually, because only two odd numbers will give us sum as even. Okay, so what is 7 root 2 minus 9? It will be like 0.87, no, whole power 9 plus 7 root 2 plus 9 whole power 9. The sum will be what? All the irrational part will get cancelled. Okay, only the rational parts, that is purely integral part, will be there. 2 times sum of all the odd terms, right? Let's call it as 2i, 2 times some integer. Okay, and it is also known that this particular value is purely fractional. 7 root 2 minus 9 whole power 9, it will be further smaller, it will be a fraction. Let's call it as f1. Okay, and let's call this as I plus f2. Okay, so when you subtract this on the other side, an even integer being, a fraction being subtracted from an even integer, what we'll be having is one odd integer plus some fraction. Okay, that will be what? 7 root 2 plus 9 the whole power 13. Okay, that will be some odd integer plus some fraction. Okay, when you take the integral part, what will happen? That fraction will be removed and it will be purely an odd integer. So this is also odd. Sum of two odd numbers will be again odd. So x plus y is even. Sum of two odd numbers is again even. Okay, so x plus y is even. Okay, because both were odd. This was also found to be odd, and this was also, the integral part of this was also found to be odd, and integral part of this is also being found as an odd value. Okay, so sum of two odd values will give an even number as the answer. Okay, yeah. So this question is from inverse trigonometry. So whenever you see such questions, you can just think of what a substitution can be done. 1 minus tan, 1 plus tan, 1 minus tan square, 1 plus tan square. These things has formulas, right? So you just put x is equal to tan theta. Okay, so what will happen? Right hand side will be cos inverse of 1 minus tan square upon 1 plus tan square, right? That is same as what? Cos 2 theta, right? And 1 minus tan by 1 plus tan is what? Tan of pi by 4 minus, see, 1 minus tan theta by 1 plus tan theta is what? Tan of pi by 4 minus theta, okay? Basically, it will get simplified, okay? Tan inverse of tan will be this alone, cos inverse of cos will be this alone. That means what? Pi by 4 minus theta is equal to 2 theta, right? And there is a coefficient 2 over here, okay? Forgot to multiply, okay? This multiply. So pi by 2 minus 2 theta will be what? 2 theta. That means 4 theta is pi by 2, or theta will be pi by 8, okay? What they are asking is number of elements in this set, yes, okay? There will be only one element, that will be tan pi by 8, okay? This is the only element which will be there, and the value of tan pi by 8 is what? It is root 2 minus 1. I think root 2 minus 1 is the value of tan pi by 8, okay? So root 2 minus 1 is clearly less than half, right? It's not greater than half. It's like 0.4 or something, okay? So only one element is there which is also less than half, okay? Yes, this is the answer, C. Yeah. So yes, next question is this. Two curves are there at and they intersect at right angles, okay? Whenever we say that they intersect at right angles, you have to use the idea that product of the slope is -1, okay? So what will be the slope of this 3y square y dash equal to 16, right? That means what? Y dash equal to 16 upon 3y square, okay? So first slope is 16 upon 3y square. And what about the slope of this particular expression? Just write it like this. Y square by 4 equal to 1 minus x square by a square, no? So better to multiply 4 also the other side, okay? 4 minus 4x square by a square equal to y square, correct? So 2y, separately, 2y y dash equal to minus 8x by a square, okay? So y dash will be what? Y dash will be minus 8x by a square into 2y, okay? Just cancel these two. Y dash will be minus 4x by a square y, okay? And that is known to be what? Minus 1, okay? That means clearly 16 into 4x by 3a square y cube is what? 1, okay? That is 1. Again cancel this, it will be 8 and no, it won't be cancelled, okay? Just keep it as it is, okay? So just for y cube we replace it as 16x again to eliminate this variable y, okay? Because at the intersecting point definitely this will also be satisfied and this will also be satisfied, okay? So just replace y cube as 16x, okay? What will be the condition then? 16 into 4x upon 16x into 3a square, 16 into 4x, right? The denominator is 3a square into 16x and that is 1. So cancel these two. So 4 is what? The value of 3a square, okay? So 3a square is 4, okay? That is the answer. So we will move to the next question. So yes, this question is actually from circles, okay? They have given condition that x square plus y square equal 25. The number of integral values of y for which the chord of the circle, this circle, passing through the point gets bisected at this point, okay? And has integral slope. Two conditions are there. One is integral slope. Another thing is based on the equation of circle, you will derive the condition, okay? Because see, in case any chord is there inside the circle, then clearly any point in the chord, it will be what? Satisfying this equation that x square plus y square is less than equal to 125. It will not exceed 125, okay? Any point inside the circle or on the point also will satisfy, okay? Outside the circle, it will be the other way, x square plus y square greater than 125, okay? So, and 8 comma y is also a point, right, which lies on the circle. That means clearly that will also satisfy this equation, inequality. That means 8 square plus y square is less than equal to 125. Y square is less than equal to 61, okay? Clearly y can be any value from minus 7 to 7, okay? All these integral values, okay? Because they have given number of integer values of y. So y can be any value from minus 7 to 7, considering them as integer, okay? And this is not the answer, okay? One more condition is there. You have to take the overlap angle. Integral slope is there for the chord, okay? So first you should know to determine the slope of the line joining the center and the chord, okay? There is a theorem which states that the line joining the center and the chord will bisect the chord, okay? Perpendicular drawn from chord to the center will bisect the chord, okay? These two lengths will be equal, okay? And 8 comma y is this point, okay? 8 comma y is this point, okay? And 0 comma 0 is this point. And this will be perpendicular to the chord, okay? That means what? So product of slopes will be minus 1. Product of the slope of the chord and slope of this particular line will be minus 1. First, say what is the slope of this line? This line clearly passes through origin, right? And 8 comma 1 should, practically speaking, 8 comma 1 should be the other side, okay? But no problem, for diagrammatic purpose, this is fine. This is very much fine, okay? So what will be the slope? Slope is actually Actually, this is passing through the origin, no? So it is resembling this equation that y equal to mx. Okay. So m will be what? Y by x, no? That will be what? Here it will be what? X value is 8, and let's call y as y itself. Okay. This is the equation of the line joining the center and the chord. So what will be the, and this is the slope of that. What will be the slope of the chord? Slope of the chord, let's call it MC. It will be minus 1 by this. Okay. That will be minus x upon, or that is minus 8 upon y. Okay. And the slope of this chord is what? Is minus 8 upon y. And this should be an integer. That means clearly you can say that y can either be 1, 2, 4 or 8. Okay. It cannot be some other value. Y can be 1, 2, 4, 8 or minus 1, minus 2, minus 4 and minus 8. Okay. Okay. And you have to take the overlap of this and this. Okay. So what will be the satisfying values? Clearly 1 will satisfy, right? 1, 2, minus 1 and minus 2 will satisfy. Okay. And what about 4? 4 and minus 4 will also satisfy. Okay. And 8 and minus 8 will not satisfy. Okay. Because here, if you consider the overlap, it cannot exceed 7 and minus 7 on either directions. Okay. So how many solutions are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4. 6 solutions are there. Okay. Totally 6 solutions are there. Okay. So, 23rd question, they have given fx is what? Ax cube minus 9x square plus 9x plus 3, and they have given it is strictly increasing on r. Okay, they are asking number of values of a. They have given that a varies between this minus 5 to 100. Okay, and they are asking integral values of a. So, you have to finally you have to get a condition, and you have to take the overlap of the second condition, is that a belongs to minus 5 comma 100. Okay, first, if it is strictly increasing, that you can say that the f dash of x is always positive, right? So what will be the derivative of this? 3ax square, correct? Minus 18x plus 9. So this is positive. Just pull out 3. Ax square minus 6x plus 3 will be positive, correct? This will be positive, right? And yeah, this condition is what we have to use it, okay? And in case this is a is positive, let's say a is positive, then how will the parabola should look like? It should look like this, correct? Then only we can say that even if it intersects the x-axis at one point, then it will be greater than equal to 0. So equal root also it should not have, distinct root also it should not have, it should never have any roots, okay? Roots must be purely imaginary, then only it will never intersect the x-axis. So this is how it should look like. That means what? Clearly discriminant of this quadratic should be greater than, discriminant should be less than 0, then only it will have complex roots, right? So b square should be less than 4ac. 36 less than 12a, right? That means what? A will be greater than 3, am I right? So between minus 5 to 100, how many numbers are there? Integers. Minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, right? 6 plus another 100, out of which up to 3 it is not included. It will start only from 4, okay? So 4 to 100, how many integers are there? Basically 97 integers will be there, okay? So 97 such values of A are there for which this particular quadratic is strictly increasing, and number of integral solutions will be 97, okay? Such that A lies between minus 5 to 100. Okay. Yes, we will move to the next question. So 24th question, they are asking a locus of image of the point lambda square comma 2 lambda in the mirror image. Okay. So basically, you are all aware of how to determine the mirror image, right? The expression should be known to you all. I'll show the diagram also. Yeah. In case this happens to be the object and this is the image and this is the mirror, then the equation should be something like this. Okay. Let's say this is alpha comma beta and this is x comma y. Okay. And x1 comma y, we'll call it rather. So the equation should look like this. Okay. Will be what? Alpha minus x1 divided by a, and let's say the line is ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Okay, that should be equal to beta minus x2 by b. That will be minus 2 times, and denominator will be a square plus b square minus 2 times. Okay, hope you are all aware of this equation, and you just put the value in the line itself. This value, this particular x1 y1 value, ax1 plus by1 plus c. Okay. Okay, by a square plus b square. Okay, this is how you will write the equation. So just by putting the values, that is see x1 is known to be lambda square, x2 is what? 2 lambda. Just put the values and equate this to this and also the second to this. Okay, and a is what? A is also 1. B is what? B is minus 1 here. Okay, ax plus by plus a is 1 and b is minus 1 and c is again 1. Okay, by putting all these values, you will get the expression for h as 2 lambda minus 1 and k will be what? Lambda square plus 1. Okay, So they are asking, see, basically this should be a parabola, this should also be a parabola, the reflection of that. Okay. So the locus of all these h comma k points, what will be the equation of that? See, you can do it just by transformation. You know this parameter lambda square comma 2 lambda, right? So what will be the equation of this particular h comma k locus? It will be, it's because instead of 2 lambda you have 2 lambda minus 1. Instead of lambda square you have lambda square plus 1, no? So instead of x you just replace it as x plus 1 whole square, okay? And instead of y you just replace, instead of 2 lambda you have 2 lambda minus 1, no? So instead of y, basically x lambda square is the x parameter and 2 lambda is the y parameter, right? 280 square comma 280 form, correct? So you just replace it as x plus 1 the whole square equal to 4 into y minus 1. This is what is the equation, okay? Just replace y as y minus 1 and x as x plus 1 in the equation of parabola. You will get, they are asking values of a, b and c, okay? Because they have given the mirror image, I mean locus of the mirror image of this particular lambda square comma 2 lambda point, right? That is following this equation. They are asking the values of a, b and c. What will be a? See, b is very clear, it is 4. A will be minus 1 and b will be 1, okay? So what they are asking, a plus b plus c, that will be 4, okay? 4 minus 1 plus 1, that is 4, yes. And yes, the 25th question is actually from permutation combination. They have given a man forgets a 4-digit ATM pin card, okay? But he remembers that in the code of all the digits were different, okay? Let's say 4 digits are there, all digits are distinct, okay? And the greatest digit is 7, okay? This is also given. Some of the first 2 digits is same as some of the next 2 digits. One more condition also they have given. Then the maximum number of trials to obtain. Basically, they are asking for all these conditions, how many such 4-digit numbers exist, in which the maximum number is 7. Some of the first 2 numbers is same as some of the next 2 numbers, okay? That is what is the question, and all the numbers are distinct. There is no repetition, okay? So for this, you have to think of all the cases. Okay, let's fix that. The first, see, one position is fixed as 7. Okay, that is okay, fixed. Okay, yeah. Let's say this particular first case. Let's consider the first digit is fixed as 7, and given the first is 7, we will consider the second digit as, we'll start from 0. We'll go to 1, 2, 3, all that later. First, we'll fix the first as 7 and second as 0. Okay. So how many next 2-digit possibilities are there? What is the condition? Sum of the first 2 digits should be same as the sum of the last 2 digits. That means what? These two should also give a sum of 7. So in how many ways it is possible? It can be 1, 6, it can be, and all the numbers are distinct. Okay, cannot repeat again also. 1, 6, 2, 5, right? Then it can be 3, 4, 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1 will repeat. So just ignore that, okay? We'll just multiply it by 2, okay? Or you just write, even if you want to write, you can mention it. Or rather, efficient way will be writing these 3 and multiplying by 2, okay? So, I mean, how many, and this is also occur in 2 ways. The first 2 digits occupying 0 and 2, it can be 0 and 7 or 7 and 0, 2 ways, right? 2 ways. And what about this? This happens in a total of 3 plus, 3 and 3 more, right? 6 ways, correct? 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 4, right? Then 6, 1, 5, 2 and 4, 3, okay? So totally 6 ways are possible for this particular thing, okay? So 12 ways, and there can be an internal swapping also. The first 2 can go to the next 2 and then last 2 can come to the first 2 digits, right? Even if this condition, because the only condition is the sum of the first 2 same as sum of the next 2, okay? That is the only condition, okay? So again you have to multiply it with 2, okay? So it's basically what? 2 into 6 into 2, that is 4 into 6, that is 24 ways. That is what they have mentioned, okay? And the next possibility will be what? You fix it as 7 and 1. Again, this can vary as 1 and 7 also, okay? That is also there. That's why 2 ways for this. And what about the next 2 digits? Sum should be 8. Then it can be what? 1, 7, 1, 7, then 2, 6, correct? 3, 5, then 4, 4 will not be a case because 4 and 4 will repeat again. So just ignore that. It will be again 3, 5, again 5, 3, 6, 2 and 7, 1, okay? So how many possibilities are there? And here you will rule this also, you will be ruling this also out. Why? Because already 1 and 7 have occurred, no, it cannot repeat again, okay? So only possibility is 2, 6, 3, 5, 5, 3 and 6, so just multiply by 2. So this is basically 1, 7 or 2, 1, 2 ways, okay? And this is 2, 6, 3, 5 or 5, 3, 6, 2, 4 ways, okay? So totally 8, and again there can be a swapping, okay? So 8 into that is 16 ways, okay? Clear? Because the first 2 can occupy the last 2 digits, last 2 can occupy the first 2 digits, and still all the conditions will be true, okay? So for this case, you have 16 ways. The first is 24, and the second case it is 16 ways. And what about the third case? The third case is when the number you take along with 7 is 2. I have taken 0 and 1 along with 7. Now we will take 2. So 7, 2 or 2, 7, two ways. Next two digits, it can be like, some should be 9. Okay, it can be like 1, 8. Then the problem is that the largest number will not be 7. Largest number has to be 7. Okay, so don't take that. 2, 7 will also not so, because 7 is repeating again. 3, 6 is what it starts at. 3, 6, 4, 5, and again 5, 4, 6, 3. These two will be repetitions. Okay, so basically 2 ways 7, 2 can be there is 7, 2 or 2, 7. Likewise 3, 6 and 4, 5, two ways are possible for each. Okay, that is 6, 3 and 5, 4 also. So totally 4 ways. Okay, so 2 into 4 is 8. Again, there can be an internal swapping. Okay, first two can occupy the last two can occupy the first two. So 4 into 2 into 2, that is how many ways? 16 ways again. Okay, this is one possibility. And next is what? The sum of first two digits. You have to choose 3 along with 7. Okay, so this is what is the first two digits. So in how many ways can you give us? Sum as 10. 1, 9 is not possible because exceeding 7. 2, 8 is also not possible. 3, 7 is not possible. 4, 6 is one possibility. And 5, 5 is not a possibility because number is repeating again. Okay. Then 6, 4 is one more possibility. Okay. Basically 2 ways here and 2 ways here. Okay. And again internal swapping because of that 2 ways. Okay. So how many ways totally? 8 ways. Okay. So in 8 ways, this particular case. And then what is the next case? You take 4 along with 7. Okay. Then I will do it here itself. This can be swapped in 2 ways, and the sum should be 11. So in how many ways can you get a sum 11? It can be like 1, 10 not possible, 2, 9 also not possible, 3, 8 not possible, 4, 7 not possible. Okay, because the largest number should be 7. So 5, 6 is one possibility, 5, 6, or it can be, there is the only possibility, and then it will be 6, 5. Okay, so 5, 6 and 6, 5, basically two possibilities. Okay, so 2 into 2, 4, and again because of internal swapping, two times you have to multiply. Okay, the first two cannot pay the last two cannot pay the first two. Okay, so 8 ways are there for this particular case also. And after this, you cannot go with the next case, that is taking 7 and 5. Why? Because if you take 7 and 5, the sum will be 12. So obviously for the correct, I'll show you. 7 and 5, the sum will be 12. No, so obviously these two numbers while filling, sum 12 is possible in what ways? 12, 11, 1, 10, 2, 9, 3, these are not possible. 8, 4 not possible. 7, 5 also not possible. 6, 6, they are equal. So 6, 6 also not possible. And what about 5, 7? 7 is repeating, not possible. Okay. And again, 4, 8, again, 1 is exceeding 7. That's also not, all these will be ruled out. Okay. It will not at all be there for higher numbers. Okay. 7, 6 also will not exist. No combination. So total number of ways will be what? 24 plus 16 plus 16 plus 8 plus 8, that is 72 ways. Okay. So there are 72 such 4-digit numbers which can be found, or he needs 72 times an attempt to get the correct code maximum. Okay, yes, that it is. Okay, thank you so much for joining the session. All the best.